Gamers. Generation 3 overused enthusiasts. Welcome. We're enjoying some Mario Kart World original soundtrack music at this time. How are the audio levels? Fabulosaurus Pex. That's a nice YouTube name. That's a nice one. Did you guys hear who the special guest is going to be for replay of the week? Anybody else hear about that? Can I tell you guys a secret? You can't tell anybody. It's just between me and you. All. How many people are watching this right now? I don't tend to keep my own stream up. I don't find myself looking at the watching now counter. I see we've now gone up to 8. So there are 8 of us. Dagan, welcome. William Foster, yes, that is correct. The whole Tetrafolium angle was a misdirection. There will not be any Tetrafolium gaming. It's actually just going to be me and Electabuzz. Electabuzz is going to be joining us for replay of the week. Dagan confirming that they're still working on following up on an email. We have an email chain going back and forth. Some very exciting things happening behind the scenes. Again, are the audio levels good, folks? How is my voice compared to the music? What is that like right now? Talk to me. Gentle oaths worn. Mint Europe confirming great. This time around, yes. Let's go. No audio issues to speak of right now. I'm gonna share some information with you guys. I just said a moment ago, this is a secret. It's between me, you, and the other 8 people watching. I reached out to very good friend and fellow ADVOU YouTuber Tetrafolium, who has like almost 400 subs now. Tetra stocks are going insane. We're in a really good spot. We're in a great place with it. Gamers, what's up? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm just gonna read some correspondence, because there's been some developments that you all need to be made aware of. I've been gone for a week. What was I doing? I was like visiting family and stuff on a little bit of a mini vacation. So you'll have to excuse the little mess behind me. They'll be cleaned up for next week. I reached out to buddy Tetrafolium. And I was like, dude, would you be interested in joining me for replay of the week this Monday? And Tetrafolium said, what time on Monday were you thinking? And I said, probably like 5 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. PST. That's right now. That's 4 minutes ago, in fact. He says, yes, I can make that work. And then I think we were both actually out of town this past week. Coincidentally. That's why the ADVOU YouTube space has been so quiet this past week. Neither of us have dropped a thing. But I tell him, hey, my flight got delayed like 4 times. We should still be good, but like if it keeps getting delayed, we might have to reschedule. And he's like, the same should happen to me, but I made it home. Cool. Tetra's home. That's good to know. I'm like, nice, LOL. And then he says this morning, I think I'm going to take a nap after work. I'll set an alarm for about an hour before the stream and shoot you a DM when I'm up. And I'm like, cool, okay, no problem. So at 3:51, this is approximately 70 minutes, an hour and 10 minutes before the stream was supposed to start. I'm working on like the thumbnail. I send him a question. I'm like, hey, if you're around, can you send me something? Didn't get a response. Like, well, he told me he's going to be waking up in 10 minutes. He's probably not up yet. No problem. And I never did get that message saying, hey, I woke up from my nap. I'm good to go. Let's test audio. Let's talk about like things to expect. So at 4:53, this is 13 minutes ago, I said, I'm starting to think your alarm is set for like 7 minutes from now when the stream starts, LOL. Maybe there was like a time zone mix-up. Maybe he set his alarm to wake him up at 5 instead of at 4. But I'm going to be real with you folks. I think he's still asleep. I don't think that Tetrafolium is awake right now. And it's rather unfortunate, isn't it? Flanky hit me with the DM. Flanky, if we miss anything, we can chuck it into like a future week. I'll let you get multiple in a future week. Yeah, Tetra's gonna wake up at some point, and when he does, he's gonna join. He's gonna join in at some point. Yeah, sometimes like the sleep turn counter just doesn't go your way. That's a really good point by OmniWeeb. Maybe he's in Arizona and time zones are a mysterious conundrum. That's also a very good point. Arizona is weird because they don't observe daylight savings time, so like they don't change their clocks, but the rest of the country does. So like relatively speaking, Arizona jumps between different time zones. When the rest of the country like springs forward or falls back, the rest of the country is moving around Arizona. I have a coworker that lives in Arizona. It was explaining this to me. I don't know where Tetrafolium lives, but I'm pretty sure that he'll join at some point. He'll wake up at some point. Maybe he overslept. Maybe he's tired. Maybe he's had a bit of a long week. But you know what time it is, folks. It's time for replay of the week. Actually, let's go back here. For the YouTube channel. It's time for replay of the week. Every single week, you guys submit replays to my Discord. We watch them together. We pick the best ones. Mint doesn't know where Arizona is. That's okay. That's not a requirement to watch the stream. A requirement, though, is a new thing that we're going to be doing as of today. After each replay, I'm going to post a poll for the YouTube chat, and you guys get to vote on basically every single replay. Tell me how good you think the replay was, and I'm going to take that into consideration when determining who is victorious and who wins replay of the week this year. These guys are farming replays, going for crazy shit against each other. Lamau. That is true. That is true. Shiny Ledian and Flanky are in the lab at all times, and you got to respect it. Voting. Voting is happening, Corvinus. That's true. So why don't we just dive in? We have a lot to get through. Because I was out of town last week, we were not able to do a replay of the week last week. So this is 2 weeks worth of replays. I think it's approximately 20 damn replays. We got a long stream ahead of us. So I say we just dive in. Okay, but before we start, we're going to start with a poll. Let me get this set up. All right. Brand new idea. New poll. How does this work? Oh, I have to manually end the poll. Everybody let me know. How many replays into today's stream until Tetrafolium wakes up and joins? Democracy is manifesting. No more anarchy in the Zet streams. No more anarchy in replay of the week. Flanky said, yeah, I submitted like 4 replays. I can remove one if you like. Flanky, like I said, for people that submitted more than 2 over the past 2 weeks, I just took the first 2 that you submitted. And I chose based on the submitter, not the people playing. So, I have a whole Excel spreadsheet. I have an entire, I'm really buttoned up this week, I think. I'm trying to be, at least. Yeah, for example, this was submitted. This replay was submitted by Shiny Ledian. Where's my OBS? I'm going to put this over here. That's probably fine. Where are yours? Flanky, the second replay we're going to be taking a look at today was a replay of yours. And I have another replay that was submitted by you on June 17th. Flanky, I've already got everything pulled up. You guys can't see it. I want to break your immersion, but I've got one Google Chrome window with about 20 tabs, and we're pretty locked in right now. So we're going to send it, and we're going to live and learn. I want to know call no show so bad. Let's take a look at the results so far. Thus far, about a third people think that Tetra is going to be joining in the first quarter or so of the stream. A third of you, or almost a third of you, think that he's just not showing. And there's about a third that think he'll come sometime in the middle. McFlurry, welcome. All right, now that McFlurry's here, we can dive in. It's time. Chrome with 20 tabs. Moody is here as well. Also, congratulations to... now I can't remember their name. I literally looked this up. Who won last, like, 2 weeks ago? I looked this up specifically so that I would know the answer. And I could give them a quick shout out and we could move on. And now I gotta look it up. I was disappointed because the winner did not submit a replay over the past 2 weeks. We have not received a replay from them since they were victorious. And now I'm looking at the wrong YouTube channel. Did you guys know I have a second YouTube channel? If Tetra doesn't show for the first 5 replays, we get to claim act. If he doesn't show, then I'm going to force him to join us next week. Tetra will be here. I think I've slept through many alarms in my life. I am not in a position to throw any shade. That's not what I'm in a position to do. Hold on. Melee. Dagon knows. That's right. Mega Cyber, folks. Let's get this in here. Mega Cyber. You guys can't see, but assured that this fortress belongs to the player Mega Cyber. And they were the winner of the most recent replay of the week. Congratulations. Thank you for your submission. And please submit again. We missed you the past 2 weeks, Mega Cyber. Hopefully we'll see you next time. Shiny Lady and Flanky 0. Let's go. Lead Entei from Shiny Lady, and we're going right to Kingdra in on a... Oh, we're getting crit thundered off the bat. Just right off rip. Fortunately, it's Lum, but you're getting outsped, and at 16%, you can't really take anything. And the Ice Punch Freeze, Flanky is kind of going in. Crit para into Ice Punch Freeze is wild. Okay, I like Kingdra as a switch in on Armaldo in that exact spot. You already used your item, you can't be knocked off. And it turns out that both gamers have brought rain teams. So there's some shenanigans happening. Just a boy living life saying Blood's asleep at 8 p.m. Well, you know, I'm on the West Coast. It's 5:15 here. Which, I don't know if that makes it better or worse, honestly. Flanky says you want to skip the first one you submitted. Alright, we'll get there. We'll talk about it. Alright, we're going to go ahead and end that poll. Thank you all for participating in that one. Anyway, it's Sceptile Gaming. Can I say? I'm going to try to get Tetra at a... Tetra doesn't like when I volunteer him to do things, but what I would like for him to do, other than join the stream, is to make a Sceptile video. Jim has a good Sceptile video on what makes Sceptile unique, and oh my god, crit double edge by Entei, crazy. This is kind of wild. I want to try to build around Sceptile. That might be the next team that I make. Might be that. When Armaldo is staying in against a Suicune, you may be truly lost. We got 3 hits of Rock Blast. That's probably the average expected value. And it's sub Suicune. It's been revealed as sub from far earlier in this one. And I'm wondering, I don't think that, yeah, no. Ludi is not going to be able to punch through this. But it's mono, no, it's not mono. It's sub CM Surf Ice Beam. Dual coverage. Endeavor Sceptile is decent, says Moody. Yeah, that requires, like, support, though. Anything that needs, like, weather clear and that also, like, gets dugged. Because do you speed tie Doug, or are you slower than Doug? It's just a lot. It's a lot of support. And yeah, plus 4 Suicune gonna be able to stomach that thunder rather easily. Gonna protect. Given that this is a shiny lady in submission, I highly suspect that Suicune is just gonna win. Oh, it's a speed tie. Okay. That's something. Dissidents asking, all right, am I covering any LTL games? Is that the charity event? Or is that like the low tier? That sounds like low tier. I cover what is submitted. Yes, honestly, sub Suicune sometimes can just get completely out of control. I like sub, like, Roar CM, like, mono Suicune as well. Well, that was crazy. And this is the very first poll. All right, 1 second. Eventually, I will get a process that will make this a little bit more streamlined. And new poll is active. Let me know, how was that replay? ADVL TL is the ADV low tier league, right? Okay, so max speed Sceptile and max speed Doug speed tie. So Doug can try to come in and go for the speed tie if it wants, but it's kind of scary. That also means that you are basically forced, all but forced, right, to run max speed Sceptile, and you can't run modest. And that's the problem with Sceptile, right? Is that it's just like not quite strong enough to get some of like the kills and hit certain ranges that you want to be hitting. Dagan saying that was full of twists, so I gave it a 3 out of 4. Also, like contextually, like this is like a friendly, right? So I think the context is important. Like knowing like what are the stakes associated with the match. To me, if I were voting, which here I'm not, we've got it's pretty. This is getting like 42% mid. Some weak, some nice. 0 people voted this fire so far. Yeah, Butterfree, that's true. Doug doesn't always run max Jolly. But it often does, right? And I know, depending on certain coverage, like if you run a certain like hidden power, you can't run max. I don't know how often that actually affects Doug. I just know that that's like a mechanic with like the speed IVs of certain hidden power selections and whatnot. Okay, and upon further review, we've gotten 14 votes into the mix, and we've actually graduated to nice. And you know what I'm going to do at this stage? I'm going to record that. For now, we're just going to record that this was a nice. Okay, the next one, this is the one that Flanky submitted, but Flanky said that they'd like to rescind this. So I'm going to skip it. We'll get to another Flanky later. And Flanky, just DM me the one you want to add. Flanky, the other one I have of yours, again, is a replay that you submitted on the 17th. So just DM me, and we'll probably chuck in on at the end or something. Yeah, Pursuit Sceptile. Dude, Sceptile just has, like, so many interesting qualities. I want to believe in Sceptile. I want to believe in it. We'll go ahead and end that poll. And now this is a submission by Moody. I believe Moody is a former Replay of the Week winner. I'm gonna continue to get buttoned up, guys. I'm eventually gonna like have like a leaderboard. We'll take a look at like the leaderboard for like who got like the most first places, lifetime and stuff. We'll get to all of that. But I believe Moody has won in the past. And here they're up against RMS Value. And this is draft. This is draft. And the note here is my first Continental Crush draft battle. Oh, that's true, Cactus. This is, in fact, the very same Break the Targets GOAT of Super Smash Bros. Melee. Butterfree, I am very excited for your submission. I don't know why. I have a very good feeling about it. You guys know I don't watch any of these until it's time. I did see that there was one submission that got a lot of reacts. It got a lot of emojis as well. So I know that some of you guys are watching these ahead of time. And maybe I can incorporate that into like the voting as well. But this is draft. You guys all know about draft, right? They can be a little different, but oftentimes you're in a pool. You draft ADVOU Pokemon. Suicune and Jirachi are banned. And you get 8 Pokemon on your team. And then once you have all your Pokemon, you get put up against somebody else. And you, of course, you still only bring 6, but you're planning which 6 you're bringing and all their movesets and such based on the Pokemon that your opponent drafted. And the cool thing about that is you still see OU Pokemon, but you see a lot of UU Pokemon as well. It's a cool like mix. It's a blend between OU and UU. If you go to UU, it's like, okay, we're seeing Pokemon we wouldn't normally see, but they're never up against very strong Pokemon because you're never going to see a Metagross. They're not going to be up against a Charizard. But here, you could see like a Slowbro, a Hitmontop, a Hitmonlee up against a Metachamp, which is now OU, folks. So let's dive into this. I don't know anything else about, and it's lead Gligar. Whoa. And we're going to a Blastoise lead Swampert, and that could be well, that wouldn't be HP Ice because that would just be Ice Beam. Registeel coming in on Toxic Blastoise. There's gonna be I'm gonna try to lock in, and it's Butterfree. Sub Celebi. You never see Sub Celebi in OU. It's like I don't think I've ever seen a Celebi click substitute in my entire life. Jonald, welcome. Thank you for joining us. We have passed a substitute to a Machamp. Butterchoke is here. Very much here for the Butterfree gaming. Wow. And Psychic Butterfree, look at that. Able with its Compound Eyes ability to have almost 100% sleep accuracy. Very interesting niche in... We really got ADV Shed Tail before GTA 6. Alright, some things are happening. The Celebi is long gone. Oh, but it's Sleep Talk Machamp. Sleep Talk Guts Machamp. Get totally wrecked. That's so sick. I've done that before too. I've chucked Sleep Talk, you know, because again, it's draft. Like he knows he's facing a Butterfree. He knows that Butterfree is running Sleep Powder. So you have a Sleep Sack specifically designed to counter that Butterfree. Very interesting metagame when you're preparing for exactly a specific opponent and you know what Pokemon they could be bringing. Gligar with the crit Earthquake, surely that mattered, folks. It's leftovers. It's not... This is a utility Gligar with Toxic and Sub. That's not Choice Band or anything. Moody suspecting that could have been HP Bug Swampert out the gate on turn 1. And no, Moody is saying guess the HP against Celebi. So I would guess HP Bug. Dagon is saying that Sub Celebi and OU is real. I don't know why it wouldn't. I could see it. Like Pokemon like to sub-seed all the time. Like why doesn't Celebi ever sub-seed? It has seed. Even has Baton Pass. I guess like sub Leech Seed Baton Pass. That's a lot of moves. Celebi. Okay, nice explosion. Weak explosion. But Doug is going to be able to come in and eliminate the Blastoise. And this is kind of coming down to the wire here. RMS value still hasn't revealed too much. And you would have needed a crit there. Surely Ice Beam will take care of it. Can Swampert come in and Earthquake this Regice down? Yes. What does RMS value have in the back? It's T-Tar. And no sand up to this point whatsoever. Wow. Okay, looks like Mixtar. That's HP Grass. But crit Earthquake completely drops the T-Tar. And that was likely unnecessary, folks, because you get a single Earthquake, even if it doesn't kill. You die to HP Grass, but then Jolt comes in, and T-Bolt should finish it off. That was a fun one. I love seeing, absolutely love seeing draft content. I've entered 2 drafts in my young ADV career myself, and I really, really enjoyed it. In fact, Revival Tournaments just announced the Revival draft. If you guys, many of you guys are in the Revival server, I would encourage you guys to consider signing up for that. I think I'll be doing so. Nice. And we're going to start the poll. Let me know. Everybody get your votes in. How was that one? Very first vote in. Oh, actually, we have 6 votes. This thing is trying to update in real time for me. Most people are saying nice right now. Oh, and the pert was choice banned as well, so the crit actually did not even matter whatsoever. It already didn't matter, but it even more didn't matter. McFlurry asking earlier, I thought Sleep Talk doesn't pick up Guts in Gen 3. I'm pretty sure it does, because Tetrafolium has a video all about a Heracross set that runs Sleep Talk, because Heracross has Guts, and then you've got Megahorn, and I think he runs Rock Slide on that set. Wait, choice band HP Bug Jolt? That's fucked up. Again, in the context of your draft and planning for a specific opponent, I don't doubt that maybe there's a use case, but I would never... Yeah, and that's right, Dagan. Facade doesn't work while you're asleep in Gen 3, which really pisses me off. Kuzi sharing that they've been experimenting with CB Celebi lead. And this has also been voted nice. This is a strong nice, though. I can only do 4 options on YouTube, by the way. Rest Talk Hariyama could be a thing. The problem is, like, if you're running Hariyama, like, you're not going to not run Knockoff, right? And, like, okay, you have Guts. You're running Rest Talk. So then you have 1 move. I mean, it is kind of cool that you could knock something off in your sleep as a switch or something. But, I don't know, is, like, your Guts boosted Sleep Talk Cross Chop, like, really that real? That kind of thing feels a lot more real in a draft setting where, like, you're up against Smeargle or some sort of sleep setter and you specifically want a sleep sack and you don't need to run rest. So you chuck Sleep Talk and then you have room for knockoff and then 2 coverage moves. Okay. This one. Submitted by Garpachi. I don't know that we've had a submission by Garpachi. And as such, I have no idea which of the 2 gamers it even is. But this is a ladder showdown between a 1300 and a 1400 gamer. And I say we dive into it. Thank you all for voting. Nice on the most recent replay. Lead Arrow into lead Zam. Whoa. A meta coming in on Double Edge. And guessing that was choice band locked. And just pivoting, doubling right back to Alakazam. Sick. Yeah, and trying to trick the choice band on Irachi. We're now going Metagross. And I like that play, trying to bring in the arrow on Trick because it already has choice band, so then Alakazam is forced to continue tricking or leave. But Go 25 saw 1 step ahead into the future. Didn't allow it to happen. Roar Swampert forces Zam back in. And this time it's T-Tar getting tricked. And Zam has stolen a Lumberry and given choice band to Lumberry, maybe mixed Tyranitar. And honestly, CB Focus Punch only doing 43% to meta. Yeah, that tells me that it's... I would guess it's just mixed T-Tar with, like, mostly special investment. Because that did not do any damage. That did absolutely nothing. Restock Yama has Whirlwind typically, says Jonald. Doug comes in, but... Yeah, no, you're done. Yeah, don't know how I feel about that. And I'm kind of surprised. I mean, maybe they were... What? Hold on a second. What is happening here? You have your Blissey in front of Charizard. If you're worried about Focus Punch, like, you could just heal, and then the Focus Punch does, like, 50% anyway. Like, everybody I love Charizard. I love Charizard. Everybody talks about, like, oh, Charizard's like a mixed attacker. Like, yeah, it is. And if it gets behind a sub and they don't have a Blissey or the Blissey's already low, then you're in a great spot. But, like, if you're in this situation, like, Zard can't really do anything. Because you just heal. Blissey just, like, heals. You don't even need to, like, if you really wanted, you could, like, Ice Beam, but you just heal. Because even if they read that you're healing, they don't have anything. Like, Focus Punch, like... I don't think it outpaces 50% healing from Soft Boiled. So, like, they go meta, you just healed your Blissey, and then you go somewhere. So, like, why are we going T-Tar in a world where, like, but they could plausibly be Focus Punching, right? Like, am I missing something here? When you've been playing a game for 20 years, you gotta get weird with it. That's so true. I completely agree with that comment. That is also, these are incredibly good points. Beat up is a possibility. The thing is, though, would you expect Zard to be running beat up alongside Doug? Because often, like, if you have Zard, it's like, okay, cool. That's, like, one of, like, the better ways that you can actually pressure the Blissey. But to me, if I'm running beat up on Charizard, then I'm probably... I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I guess the fact that they brought the Charizard in... That could also suggest it's coming in for a reason. But again, I mean, and maybe you're like, okay, I'm predicting exactly beat up, and that's why I'm going to T-Tar because it resists a dark move. But if it is just gonna Focus Punch, then, like, aren't you throwing away your whole T-Tar? Like, anyway. Yeah, some other people saying, well, hey, man, like, the Zard, like, switched in. And in which case, I kind of like the Fire Blast, because you're posturing that the Zard is here to do something to the 41% Blissey. And so maybe they go somewhere that isn't happy about a Fire Blast. But then again, I mean, Swampert and Arrow can both come in on that Fire Blast, as long as the Arrow doesn't get burned. And T-Tar is going to Focus Punch on the sub. And the problem is this is Choice Band locked now. So the T-Tar has to leave. Yeah, and Swampert has it, but this isn't going to do much. 36%, that's not bad. And it's not leftovers Pert. And we're revealed HP Grass. We're usually HP Grass. But it is just standard Fire Grass Sub Punch. And that Seismic Toss, it's like, yeah, if they exactly Focus Punch, then you get some, like, chip on the Charizard. And, like, maybe you're really afraid of the Charizard, like... I get that it has a move that hits almost everything on your team. I understand that. But, like, what if you're wrong? And now your Blissey is, like, dead. Yeah, you give up the Blissey. Alakazam and Suicune are going to have a good time. Arrow is here. And just clicking HP Fly. So we know Meta can come in. Oh, and calling out the Rachi. Yeah, I guess Earthquake is a pretty easy click there. Because, like, why would they stay in and click HP Flying into the meta? They have to go somewhere. And Earthquake hits everything revealed. Yeah, this is a weird one. That's interesting. Was that, like, not, like, the most, like, ballsy toxic ever? Hold on a second. Jirachi protected, so the Encore doesn't actually work. But remember, Zam is faster. So if Jirachi stays in and clicks Toxic, and Go 25 is like, I'm just gonna Encore. Like, it's gonna Encore the Protect before Toxic can come out, forcing Protect to occur, right? So maybe Go 25 is like, since they know they're in such a spot where they're forced to get Encored now, they're going to switch out. So I'm going to switch out to get ahead of their switch. And maybe this is like the level 5 where DGFat is like, they know I'm going to switch and they're going to switch because they know if they Encore and I switch, it doesn't do anything. So I'm going to switch, or no, I'm going to Toxic their switch. Maybe they thought that the Suicune was coming in. I don't know. He should have switched to Aerodactyl on Fire Blast turn 17. I was thinking that too, Dagon. Wish Protect Jirachi is kind of okay right now. Earthquake does 51% every 2 turns, but with leftovers and Wish Protect, you're healing 62% each turn. Well, every 2 turns. So meta not well positioned to break through. We've also wished up the Swampert. And Trick Encore Fire Punch. Okay, so you've switched the Lumberry for a Magnet. We now have acquired Magnet Alakazam. Magneton has a Lumberry, no longer Magnet. And DGFat is kind of a Protect gamer. It's Wish Protect Rachi, Protect Swampert. Okay, so Zam is back to having a Choice Band, and we've given a Magnet to a Tyranitar. What the actual fuck is happening? Okay, so now we're just swapping Choice Bands, and Zam has to click Trick again. I think Go 20... both gamers are perplexing me a bit. I don't really know what to make of a lot of what's happening. We have to sack the meta. What is in the back for Go 25? Do you only have one ground immune? They are going band for band Omni-Weed. So we would rather, yeah, I guess just get the Toxic, get your Protects going. You could Thunderbolt once for the road. Damn, that does a lot, even without Magnet and a +1 special defense boost. Go 25, you better have something good in the back because you're kind of running out of steam. And they let the Suicune go. It's Raikou. It always has been Raikou. I think it can take 1 Double Edge. And apparently it can't at all. Apparently, no, it can't. Huh. Does that surprise anybody else? I mean, it has quite the road ahead of it. 100% T-Tar, fairly healthy Swampert. Like, you need exactly grass coverage. The Rachi is really healthy, and Wish Protect Toxic is going to destroy you. You could get a sub up, but Arrow's just going to click Double Edge to deny the sub. And surely it gets you to the percent where you can't sub anymore. That's crazy. All right, guys. Add option. Nice. What do we think about this one? There were some twists and turns in this one. There were some decisions. This is a team. Special offense trying to support Raikou. But we threw away the Doug. We like really threw away the Doug into the Blissey. We got a pretty even spread. Did I end the previous poll? It wouldn't let me start a new poll had I not. I'm trying to, like, I didn't forget to end the last poll, did I? Sorry, folks. We're trying a lot of new things today. Do you guys think that Tetra's alarm is going to go off at 6 PST? Maybe it was supposed to be... Maybe it was supposed to be 4 PST, but it somehow ended up being like a little hand slip, and it ended up being 6 Pacific. Apocalypse Now, welcome. Thank you for joining us. I did end the poll. Okay. So this replay has gotten more fire votes than any other replay so far. But the plurality are saying it's nice. Garpachi, thank you for your submission. You have received a nice from the audience. The poll has ended, and we move on to Green Herb White Smoke. Green Herb White Smoke. They are a common participant in the chat. With no context, I would assume Peace and Love is Green Herb White Smoke. Maybe they're not a participant. Again, you don't have to be the participant of a given battle if you want to submit it for replay of the week. 27 viewers. That's sick. Thank you all for tuning in. We have a lot of additional gaming to get through. Why don't we dive into this one? I'll try to play less perplexingly less time. I still don't even know which gamer you were, but that adds a bit to the mystique, doesn't it? We're going for double focus punch, and yeah, Skarm just goes down. Lead Skarm goes down, clicks Roar. Not much else you can do. And Rachi is going to sub to no avail. VEP Inc. with no fear whatsoever, just clicking focus punch into the damn ether. And Rachi does eventually get the substitute they so desperately wanted. Swampert stepping on a spike, taking a psychic. But surely Jirachi has to leave now. No! Gonna continue just punching through. A very offensive team from Peace and Love 5, apparently. Oh, nice double back to T-Tar on that exact turn. In front of a Moltres. Peace and Love gonna be forced to let the Jirachi go. What do they have in the back to deal with the T-Tar? Is there a fighter? No. It's just a Suicune. This looks almost a little special offense-y. I mean, you got your spikes. You got 3 special Pokemon. Hydro Pump Suicune. This could be like Roar Suicune. There could be... Oh my gosh, Snorlax is here as well. Because I'm looking around, I'm trying to figure out how is Peace and Love 5 going to deal with Blissey. Apparently the answer is Snorlax. Fortress makes an appearance and takes an Earthquake, which it can do rather well. Fabulosaurus Pex explaining that they were DG fat. Alright, so no more spikes for the rest of the game. This Blissey is looking tough to deal with. I love the Toxic there. You know Fortress isn't going to want to stay in front of the Moltres. Toxic hits everything else revealed. Blissey is going to heal up a little bit, but in Sand, taking a little bit of Toxic Chip. I imagine you just leave here. You do? Mence is going to come in. Are you getting seated? You are. And now what? Oh, expecting them to switch out. They just stay in and take a huge Hidden Power Flying onto the Celebi. Celebi is able to heal a little bit, but not that much. And interestingly, the Celebi was actually faster than the Mence there, folks. How about that? 4 is here. And it finally gets its first spike. Only 1 spike immune Pokemon left on Peace and Love 5s. And again, these double Leech Seed. And that's just a forfeit. That was the second time that Peace and Love is like, surely you are going to switch. I'm getting another Leech Seed up. And you've lost your Celebi. There's a permanent spike. And yeah, again, Snorlax can do things to the Blissey, but if you can deal with that Snorlax, it's looking like it's kind of hella over. And Peace and Love 5 doesn't even want to find out. That's crazy. That was a fast one. I like that explosion click, though, because honestly, in that position, it looked like the Fortress was going to be able to get additional spikes. Heads up play by VEP Inc. Banded tar damage on the Skarmory. That makes sense. That also explains why it was just kind of boldly continuing to click buttons. That makes a lot of sense. One of these days, I'm going to be just as fast with this stuff as Jonald and that guy from. All right, gang. I've got a good feeling about this one. What do you guys think? What do you guys feel? Green Herb White Smoke's submission. Green Herb White Smoke, are you VEP Incorporated? Did you take 42 ELO from Peace and Love 5? Or are you Peace and Love 5? The Peace and Love goes along with the Green Herb White Smoke concept, but again, it's not very often that you see people submitting replays of them losing. Especially replays of them forfeiting on turn 19. I would be a little surprised to hear that this is them. I do think this team is just weak to Blissey. Maybe the Suicune or the Jirachi can get 101 health subs, and you're just gonna call Mind War Blissies. Maybe that's... You can take a Seismic Toss and get a lot of stacks. But Snorlax, like, as like the literal only physical attacker with no Doug and lead Skarmory, you get like a spike, but like Magdoll is messing you up. This is Hiei. It's a good call out. It's Hiei and Yusuke from Yu Yu Hakusho. And with 14 votes, looks like the prevailing sentiment here is that this was also a nice replay. All right, I think it's time for us to think about this. Can I point out something? We've watched 4 replays. All 4 of them have been voted nice so far. So that tells me that maybe we have too many bad options, like weak and mid. Maybe the worst option instead of weak is going to be mid. And then we can have nice, sick, and fire. What if we did that? Let's redo this poll, actually. We're going to redo just this one. Humor me once more. We're going to change the distribution. Because we don't need to give half of the 4 options to bad replays. If it's mid, just say it's mid. But now we have 3 actual options to differentiate because, again, all 4 of the replays so far got nice. That's not actually helping me that much. Dagan says, I have been using weak. New options are dishonest. People just have low standards here, TBH. And you are, Dagan, you are entitled to that opinion. The best part of all this is this replay literally got nice last time, and now the plurality is mid. That's kind of insane. But it's what the people want. It's the people have spoken. Mid, nice, fire, insane. I like that. Smoking Rocks, I like that better. We'll do that for the next one. Next Hawk wants to change their replay of the week. Next Hawk, if you are here, DM me the one you want. DM me the one you want us to watch. I've got one replay pulled up for you. When we get to yours, we'll switch it out. I like to have at least my opponent at 1500. So VEP Inc. is, in fact, Green Herb White Smoke. Was your test account that you forgot the password to after getting this replay? Nice. All right. Ending that poll. Moving on. We must proceed. We got to continue. The next one. This is a Shiny Ledian original, folks. This is the second. This is the second and final Shiny Ledian submission. Corvinus, I agree. I think that's going to be a next week thing. Incorporating like the percent for each option. This is just to give me a rough idea of what you guys think. This is like to at least record something so that I can like be like, okay, like these 4 replays were voted like fire or better. And I can kind of go from there to figure out what the number 1 is going to be. I do think that could be helpful, Corvinus. Like the one that got the most fires was probably better than the ones that got weak votes. That's true. Corvinus, we're going to continue iterating it every week. For now, let's just continue. We've got a lot of replays to get through. This is a Gen 3 UU ladder match between a 1,000 gamer, a brand new account, and somebody who has won a couple battles. All right. Tentacruel versus Granbull. Granbull gets Intimidate. Who knew? It looks pretty intimidating. And is that banded damage? Granbull not wanting to take a Psychic. I would have considered just staying in. I would have, if I'm Grample there, I'm clicking. I'm clicking buttons. Yes, everybody. John Old's replay is, I've got high hopes. I saw there were many reacts happening. Ampharos just such a tank. I wish this Pokemon was good. I wish Ampharos and Manectric, like the two Gen 2 and Gen 3 respectively, like cartridge single player playthrough Pokemon. I wish they had a bit more of a niche. And by the way, we're officially on replay 5 of the day. Still no Tetrafolium in sight. Not even some ADV Revival uploaded matches excite Dagon. Dagon has perhaps the highest standards of all time. And we need gamers like Dagon around to help us raise the bar and raise our expectations. Choice Band Fearow putting in absolute work, destroying an entire Blastoise. How about that value? Gligar the switching, but Xatu is back. Gligar's going to have to... No, just going to stay in to get Psychicked? Why did I think Gligar was poison? I thought it was just going to fall to the Psychic. And that's kind of crazy, by the way. The entire Gligar... We sword danced and pressed A button. And it's gone. It's out of here. I must admit, it appears that Faracia has a bit of a lead. Well, I guess a lot of their Pokemon are pretty hurt. Yeah, the Matang is... The Matang is paralyzed. It's going to go down. And everything is Ampharos weak. Yeah, so Walton going to save it. The Ampharos is too important. Fearow kind of like chipping itself down repeatedly with these double edges. Barely living on one there. And getting another huge double edge. Okay, that's a lot of value for the Fearow. Still, though, I don't see anything that can deal with the Ampharos. It's at 63%. It is slow. Rest Xatu is something. But Faracia, you better have something in the back that can deal with an Ampharos. And it's Manectric. Okay. Well, I suppose it could maybe 1v1 if it has, like, Toxic. Or Crunch is good coverage. You're getting T-Waved, though. You're getting T-Waved. What other coverage? It's just T-Bolt. Yeah, Ampharos doesn't get anything. And Crunch from the... Oh, the special defense drop is actually massive. Incredibly necessary. Quillfish in the back goes down into... Wow. Okay, well, you've cleansed the special defense drop. Oh, the crit T-Bolt. Tentacruel, can you get there? You outspeed Ampharos, right? No. Ampharos is too damn bulky. Why are we T-waving, though? You need the full para, and you get the full para. That makes sense. That makes sense. That is crazy. Shiny Ladian had a 25% chance to win that one from this spot. Well, a little bit less because crit surf. But about a 25% chance. They could have went for their own crit T-Bolt, but instead decided to leave it in the hands of God. Sometimes you just get there. You just get the full para. You're just the better player. That's crazy. That was a fun one. I'll admit, that was a fun one. Start a poll. Okay. Okay, this is the new poll. As suggested by a chatter of this very stream, we're going with mid, nice, fire, and insane. I don't know much about UU. I really don't. I like that play, though, to go to the Quillfish. We're sacking the Quillfish, but we have to cleanse the special defense drop. Because otherwise, Tentacruel is just going to get there. Manectric Crunch into Tentacruel Surf surely would have won. But Ampharos comes in. The crit T-Bolt in this spot to destroy the Manectric. Could Crunch into Surf have gotten there? Because Crunch was doing... It was only doing 19, actually. So you would have needed another crit. Faracia would have needed a crit or another special defense drop, nonetheless. And that is a nice... That's a nice one, it appears. There was one person who thought it was insane. Shoutouts to you. Shoutouts to the one person who thought that was insane. Oh yeah, BKC has very much expressed his displeasure at those who use the term mid. That's why we love BKC. He's incredibly opinionated. He's not afraid to let you know how he feels, even if we'll all disagree with him from time to time. Now, this is a submission by Rat Dog Reborn, and their comment makes a lot more sense now. I want to let you guys know, you don't have to submit a note with your submission. You can if you want, and I've recorded them in my spreadsheet. And the note that Rat Dog Reborn submitted for this one was, I am an ADV warrior poet. And I was like, literally, what does that mean? Surely somehow the gameplay is going to give us some context? No, that's just the name of their avatar. It's a 1488 gamer. Wow, only one elo separates these gamers. 1488 versus 1487. Pull to change nice to noise. All right. Maybe we can do that. I don't mind it. Okay, pull to have every single pull be different, and thus the results are going to be completely unusable and unhelpful. This is Gen 3 OU gaming. This is low mid ladder gaming. Lead slacking. Just sending a focus punch. Yeah, Skarm's not going to appreciate that. 80 damn %. Skarm's going to get a free spike. Rachi here suggesting fire punch, and Warrior Poet's just going to take it. Maybe thinking you're going to overpredict. I'm actually going to stay in and get a second spike for my trouble, but not this time. Jirachi is seated. There is a spike on that side of the field, and Woodman, Nice Man, revealing their own Skarm, but going to double back to their own Jirachi immediately, scouting the HP Fire, but you're scouting HP Fire with a Fire Weak Pokemon. And look at this Jirachi. With Protect, it's probably Wish Protect Toxic Fire Punch. Oh, that could have been a little bit of an over-prediction from ADV Warrior Poet. Crit Hidden Power Fire did 55%, so I don't think that was going to kill either way. Maybe you're trying to fish for a special defense drop. And Warrior Poet just going for a DD. Goes for a second DD. Okay, you take an Earthquake. It's not Leftovers, and +2 Hyper Beam does not kill Flygon. Is that worth it? Is Flygon that detrimental to your team? Well, you do have an Aerodactyl. It's Rock Spam. So we've identified the Rock Resist. Of course, there is a Jirachi here. It's a defensive Jirachi at that with Wish Protect. So throwing away our entire T-Tar this early, we'll see how it pans out. We're running Thunder Jirachi. We do get the 60% Para. What do you do to see Elo by hovering? Yeah, you just when you're on a replay or in Showdown, you just hover over the guy's avatar and it shows you. What hidden is that HP fighting mixed Jirachi? Because Grass is resisted, and like Jirachi doesn't run any other hidden powers. All right, we've gotten the full para on this Wish Protect Jirachi. That's huge. We've gotten the para, excuse me. People have complained on the Revival Tournaments comment section that I mix up para and full para. When you're in the thick of it, friends, commentary is a difficult thing to do. You're trying to do a lot. You're trying to think about many things. But if that Rachi ever gets full para'd, and by the way, it's the Blues Energy team. This is the team that Blues Energy at one point had the highest elo at that time ever recorded. Blastoise loses nearly all of its health and is paralyzed, but we have Rapid Spun, no more spikes, and we've taken a Body Slam and eliminated the lead Jirachi. And yeah, I guess lead mixed HP fighting Jirachi makes sense, especially again at the lead slot. Arrow is going to lock in to Rock Slide, and yeah, I guess it's tough to lock into Double Edge when they could go to their full health Skarm. And we're just going to try to power through the Flygon. Flygon hangs on by 1%, but it's a double flinch. Oh, no. Yeah, and wow, this is a very interesting team. Like, look at this, right? It's defensive Wish Protect Jirachi. It's also, like, defensive, like, Wish, presumably Toxic Protect Flygon. So the Blues Energy team here, honestly, is usually very well equipped to deal with Rock Spam. The Flygon is damn low. The Jirachi is paralyzed. There is still also an entire Skarmory. So I don't think ADV Warrior Poet is out of the woods yet. We haven't seen a spinner on their side, but Woodman Niceman hasn't been able to click spikes with Skarm even once. Though if the chief threat that you're trying to mitigate is Aerodactyl, perhaps it's less of a priority right now. Blissey is seated. We're going to go immediately to Skarm. And Hydro Pump, that's a 2-hit KO. You have Protect. You could take the Protect chip heal, and you will. Also waste another power point of the Hydro Pump. Only 6 remaining at this time. Woodman Niceman going back to the Blissey and dodging a Hydro Pump. Not the most impactful dodge of all time. Could we see a move that isn't soft-boiled? No. Love the double. Oh, but it's Curse Pert. Okay. Well, Flygon cannot stay in. You did. You stayed in and you gave up the whole Flygon when the opponent has an arrow just so you could... Oh, that... Yeah, because... I mean, Curse Pert, it has to be Earthquake last because, of course, you're running Curse. So it wouldn't be Refresh. You do end up Toxicking it with a Skarm. And now you can Protect up to 46%. But, man, is this... This is going sideways. And no, we're not going to... You're not going to take your free chip heal. Yet again, we're pivoting a Steel Pokemon into this revealed HP Fire Celebi. And breaking news, shocking news. I have received a direct message on Discord from the one and only Tetrafolium. And yeah, it is 6:01. It's 6:01, and all I got was whoops. I called it. Somehow Tetra set the alarm for 6 PST rather than 4. Tetra's going to be joining us soon, I suspect. Computer is booting up. Tetra will be ready in 3 minutes. Dagan, 6-10 bros, we won the poll. Always something crazy happening. There's always some sort of weird audio issue with my stream, or the YouTuber that agreed to collaborate with me is taking a nap or something. One of these days, we're going to have a very smooth, streamlined experience. Today is not that day. And yeah, honestly, the Celebi simply clicking HP Fire... You could try to stall out the wishes. Full Para can also be your friend, but yeah, they get the wish up. They don't even really need the Protect unless you get a crit. No crit, though. No crit. And they're just going to be able to get a free Fire Punch into the mix as well. I think Tetra's joining very shortly, folks. Yeah, you definitely want to get a Leech Seed up before you run all this. 1 second, everybody. 1 second.
Morning.
Good morning, Tetrafolium. Welcome to the stream. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm well rested, that's for sure.
I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. We did a poll at the beginning of the stream of how many replays in it would be until you joined us. And the people who guessed between 6 and 10 replays were correct. We're probably about a third of the way done with the stream, but we've still got some replays in the chamber if you're willing to join us, Tetra.
Absolutely. Let's pick it up where we left off.
Let's do it, dude. It's been a long week for us both, has it not?
Oh, yes. I heard that you also had flight troubles.
Yeah. We both had delays with our flights and such, and it's kind of thrown a wrench into things. But can you see the gaming? Can you see the gaming occurring?
Yes, oh my gosh, lead slanking.
It's the Blues Energy team. There's a Blastoise that is no longer with us. And ADV Warrior Poet is the one who submitted this. This is kind of an epic lower mid-ladder showdown between a 1488 and a 1487 gamer. We've identified that it's Rock Spam. This Tyranitar double Dragon Dance into Hyper Beaming a Flygon at some point to empower the Aerodactyl to try to push through. The Flygon is out of here. Skarm is not overly healthy. Defensive Wish Protect. Jirachi is paralyzed. And this Skarmory has not been able to click spikes once. We've also only seen the slacking once as well. Let's dive back into the mix. We've landed a Leech Seed. And that's going to help this Celebi 1v1 the Jirachi that much more. Eventually, I fear the Jirachi is probably going to have to get out of here. But that's like the third time that Woodman has basically been forced to pivot between the Rachi and the Skarm, taking an HP fire at that time.
How many more Leech Seeds do we have?
That's a good question. Still 9. Oh, and Slacking comes in on a Psychic. Okay, well, it's going to be able to click a big move. Oh, and Shadow Ball just kills. It's a crit. Oh my god, surely that mattered, right?
I would think so.
That's insane. Okay. What's a click now? This is revealed Curse Pert. And Crit Hydro Pump probably puts the Blissey in Earthquake range. It's faster than the Blissey too, yeah. So Skarm has to come in. The Skarmory was able to Toxic this Swampert earlier. Flygon tried to Toxic it as it fell to Ice Beam, but it missed the Toxic, and it was all for naught, unfortunately. And the Pert coming back in on a Toxic. Yeah, this is pretty tough. With Skarm being this healthy, the Jirachi being here, I don't know that Arrow is going to be able to get it done. But we give up the Blissey, okay. All right, well, Slacking can click a button. You just have to let the Swampert die, right? Oh, no, they went for Focus Punch. Hold on a second. That's crazy.
I feel like Focus Punch maybe was not the click there.
Yeah. I mean, it has Double Edge, right? So I went back and turned the...
return it. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, return, Double Edge, like, normal move. I guess, like, they were worried, like, oh, if I double edge into the Arrow, then the Arrow's going to get too much momentum. But, like, you have a full health Skarmory. Like, what can the Arrow can click Rock Slide, but then if it does, you go to your Jirachi, you get a Wish Up. I don't know that they need to take that risk, Tetra. And I think that may have given ADV Warrior Poet a way back into this one.
Starting to seem that way, for sure.
Oh, my goodness. God fucking damn it. I was on the wrong scene this entire time. We just did a little bit of radio commentary. God fucking damn it. Lamau. People have been... Oh, Corn Cob King, where Pokemans? That's one of my Smash friends. From like way back when. From college, dude. Okay, anyway. Okay, so what did you guys miss? We'll go back a few turns and put it on fast so we can relive some of the action. Swampert comes in. On a Toxic.
Celebi died before I got into this. Maybe like turned 50 or so.
Yeah, it was right around that time. The Celebi died to like a critical something or other. It was a critical Focus Punch.
Hit Shadow Ball.
Shadow Ball. That's what it was. Yeah. This Focus Punch here in this spot, kind of crazy. They Focus Punched, maybe thinking that like the Arrow was going in, maybe trying to deny Curse. Maybe that's it, but like how do you win now? You have like a not very healthy Skarm. I mean, you could Toxic Protect stall the Arrow. You have Wish Protect, Toxic, defensive Jirachi. Let's see how this plays out. Yeah, everybody in the chat, use your imagination. Okay, maybe you need to look inward. Have you guys ever considered that? And going Arrow. Yeah, I wonder what that click would have been. Yeah, Warrior Poet. Yeah, that's tough. Arrow's got to leave. Perk can come in, and you can click Hydro Pump like once, but like you kind of need crit on the Jirachi coming in, don't you? They protect. Toxic brings you down to like 6%, 8%. And yeah.
Honestly, there I would have went for the double protect.
Yeah, because what do you have to lose?
Right.
And yeah, Skarm is going to protect and scout whatever the Arrow does. You miss a Rock Slide, but if you can get through the Skarm, you have like Paraflinch outs. Oh, hold on a second. We crit through the Skarm immediately, and yeah, Jirachi went for protect there. Surely they don't win this. There's no way.
This is a tough one. If this was a Milotic, I would assume that it just gets paraflinched out, but it's Jirachi, so.
It's getting full paired 4 times in a row. Wait a minute. This is doable now. Like, it's like 1 crit or like 1 flinch. Finally gets a protect through. But maybe that was supposed to be wish into protect, Woodman. This is, yeah, like, oh, it's another full para. You have to hit wish into protect right now. See, that protect isn't that valuable because you're still in a spot where like a single flinch ends your life. They go for wish finally. They get it up. But they have to hit this protect, and they do. Oh my god, no way. And they're going to heal up to like 70-something%. That was all for nearly not. Oh, and Arrow is down to struggling now. It's all out of rock slides.
It's not quite over yet.
No, yeah, you don't have flinch outs anymore. Yeah, but the wish is up, and body slam. How many wishes are left? Oh, 9 wishes. Yeah, I'll put this on fast. Surely
over now.
You would have to get. Yeah, you would have to get full parried like 7 times in a row. Yeah. Maybe it's a hyper fast moment, folks. Yeah, the arrow finally gets parried, and now it's very much over. The arrow doesn't have enough health. It's astounding how close that was, despite the odds. I think the Jirachi was down to like 1% at one point. That's fucking insane.
Yeah, nail biter for sure.
Green Herb White Smoke saying revenge for all of DPP. Almost. Arrow almost exacted revenge, but not quite.
Well, hold on. I mean, I don't think that's quite fair, because Aerodactyl is definitely a flinch merchant as well, especially this generation as far as that goes.
Very true. Tetra, Oh, please go ahead.
I guess it more so uses Stone Edge and DPP, though.
Is that... I'm showing my age here, but does it have less accuracy but has higher flinch chances, or like does it have higher crit chance and no flinch chance? Like what's the difference between Stone Edge and Rock Slide?
I believe Stone Edge is 100 base power, 80 accuracy with a higher crit ratio.
Okay. Fair enough. We're doing something new now. I've implemented this for the first time this week, Tetra. We are now polling the chat every single replay. And they get to also add a little bit of input into what will eventually end up being the winning replay for replay of the week.
Maybe I should put my vote in.
Yeah, maybe you should. Do you play any other gens, Tetra, or is it mostly just Gen 3?
So for those of you who have been scouring my YouTube channel to see what I was doing before, because I did not actually start by making ADV videos. You'll probably have seen a lot of Gen 9 draft videos. I used to play a lot of Gen 9, and then I kind of got bored of the metagame. So what I did instead was actually do my own draft league with my friends.
Oh, nice.
And that was done in Gen 9 with slightly different modified rule sets. And that's been a lot of fun. Although I kind of got burnt out of that, which is why I pivoted once again to ADV. But ADV has been the most fun I've had playing Pokemon in a long time.
Same, man. Big same. I never thought I was going to get into competitive, honestly, but I got sucked in and I've been having a good time with it. Dagan asking how old I am. I'm up there. You guys can guess. You guys can throw out some guesses in the comments. I'll let you know how close you guys are getting. But I think this is this is the Jarnold submission. Those of you that are in my server will already know this, but this submission had quite the reaction after it was posted. I know some of you guys have already watched this. I know nothing of this battle. This is a mid-ladder event between a 1500 and a 1600 gamer, and Jonald the submitter is Uzi Gibb.
Keep in mind that Jonald Uzi Gibb made it all the way to 1800 using a Chansey on his team.
Spoilers for my next YouTube video, but yes, that is very much a true statement. Wait, Zoomers are playing ADV. I am very close to what is currently being guessed. Singing Crow guessing mid to late 30s. I don't appreciate that. I am early 30s. Thank you.
Wow, he thinks that you're one of the older unks.
Dude, I'm a young unk. I should change my tag to young unk. RM6XL Jimothy is a Zoomer. Blues is a Zoomer. I don't think Jimothy is. I don't know how old those guys are, but I don't think they're. Maybe I'm so old that Zoomers are like in their mid 20s. That probably is true, actually. God damn it. Anyway, yeah. Fuck. Let's dive into some. Oh, it's lead Medi into the worst possible matchup. Oh, it's. This is it. That's hyper offense, isn't it? Dragon Breath Milo? What is happening?
Oh man.
Hidden Power. Oh no, it's not Zet's hyper offense. Unless maybe they changed some things around. They changed a lot of things. This is HP flying rather than HP rock.
I love T-Wave Gera. Underrated set.
Defense Curl Salamence? Defense Curl Rollout Salamence? Excuse me? Jonald, no! Oh my god, the crits and kills the fucking Gyarados. What the fuck was that? Curse Snorlax gets critted to him! No! What?
Oh man, I don't think a crit matters here. I think it would kill Hera for sure.
Yeah, but Hera's just gonna sub-stall the rollouts. I think it stops after 5. The 5th rollout is the highest base power, and then it ends.
That's right. But the Hera, it gets its Salic, but it's wasted all of its health just to do this. It misses the Rock Slide. I think this rollout is gonna kill. And for sure.
Rollout isn't even 100% accurate, folks. So he's getting through Para, and he's hitting every single fucking rollout. And we're back to subbing. No fucking way.
Is Medi the best switch in here? I mean, granted.
What do they have left?
Just lost 3 Pokemon. Yeah.
All right, we've finally done damage to the damn thing, and we're going for Para flinch outs, which makes a lot of sense. But the defense curl is putting in work. Medi is going to resist that, and high jump kick finally ends the Salamence. Lead defense curl rollout Salamence. Doug is going to clean up the Medi. This is the most insane thing I've ever seen.
Jonald, revenge. We reveal Celebi.
Yeah, do you think the Celebi maybe would have been a decent play at some point before some of the other Pokemon came in?
No, I think you needed it as a last potential win con. You can't sack it to the Salamence. Dragon Claw is such a weird click.
Yeah, that is interesting.
You would think if you had a special Tyranitar, of all the special moves you would pick, it would be Ice Beam, but
Dodrio. What is this doing here? This is Paris Band, by the way. Dragon Breath, like Thunder Wave, like what is happening? Hidden Power flying?
Probably flying with that damage.
Okay, it's Weather Clear for Loverboy K. Loverboyk? I don't really know what that's to do here. Would this not... I guess it doesn't get Earthquake, but oh my god, that didn't even break sub. And Dodrio gets Baton Pass, yeah.
I think it's going down to 1 HP to get a flail off. But it's not quite there because of the sand damage.
Right. It's got a Leechy though. Yeah, so
wow, that doesn't kill.
Yeah, it might have if it could have actually gotten... Oh, but Salic Magneton, hold on. Hold on just a moment. Doug is able to live 1 hidden power. And if it's HP Bug, Salic Doug?
What?
Excuse me? Oh, so wait, what? Why is it Salic Doug? Does that mean it's adamant? Is it adamant? Like I don't know. It's not Choice Band, that's for sure. What just happened?
I think also interesting to note that the Doug Trio didn't have HP Bug, because otherwise you would have clicked it there for sure, right?
Yeah, because of course it wasn't Choice Band locked. So, Jonald, what have you done? What is the meaning of any of this? I'm speechless.
That was a great one, I think.
Defense
curl tech is really interesting. If you don't know, defense curl doubles the damage of rollout from the get-go when you use it.
Yeah, that's insane. If you do multiple defense curls, does it give you like an additional boost, or is it just a one-time thing?
I don't think it stacks. I think one time.
All right.
I don't know if I would recommend defense scroll rollout like we saw here on Salamence, but there's probably a Pokemon out there, maybe like a Dawn fan, where that could be a really interesting tech.
If anybody votes not insane, like, you're banned. These are anonymous, but I will use my software development capabilities to find you and track you down, and I will ban you. That was
I'm just
fucking.
gonna throw it out there. The 7% that said mid, that has to be a Jonald voting mid on his own replay.
That makes sense.
He just aspires to even greater heights because he's just him.
Jonald, you are a devious gamer. This is that is like truly unbelievable how much value that got. Like the odds for it to hit all of those rollouts through paralysis. Somebody could do the math. That's fucking insane. Dagan guessing my birth year. Let's chill. Can we chill on the age stuff? Let's relax a little bit here, gamers.
Yes, that's when's your birthday? The last four of your social.
Right. Oh my god. All right, I'm just gonna end the poll. I think we all know what we just saw was truly one for the record books. This is a submission by Dawn7331. Smoking Rocks versus Kleindienst. A 1666 gamer.
I recognize him because on a little ladder run that I made, he was number 4 on the ladder when I played him.
This player?
That's right.
Klein? Wow. All right, well we got a gamer on the screen, folks. Let's see what they do.
I'm not going to spoil if he had a particular team, but he had a very interesting Pokemon that you don't see very often.
Who was my favorite teacher in elementary school? I did not have my art teacher. You have to give me a second to think of her name. But she was chill. My music teacher was okay.
Simply just losing the Jirachi for the Salamence, I think that's a decent trade for Klein.
Yeah, could be. And Mag representing a more physical team on Smoking Rock's side.
I would not be shocked if there's a Snorlax on Smoking Rock's team.
True. Alongside the Suicune, absolutely. A lot of shiny Pokemon making an appearance. Shiny Registeel. Looking nice. Mag gonna come in and try to trap this. You've been Thunder Waved. And Mag has like no health. So Seismic Toss is actually a 2-hit if this Mag doesn't have lefties, which it does not. It gets a single T-Bolt and that's it. It's out of here.
Rip to the Magneton. But here comes better Registeel, in many people's opinion.
Wow. And Klein keeps the Scarm in the back the whole time. It's Volbeat Gaming, though.
Encore?
Trick. It gets Trick. Oh, okay. Well, you've basically neutered the Skarmory. It has a choice band now. Doesn't Volbeat get like the one move in ADV that boosts your special attack by 2 stages?
That's right. Tail Glow, which gives you only 2 boosts in this gen, but there's no nasty plot to compensate, so...
Okay, well, honestly, Choice Band Drill Peck Scarm is kind of putting in work on this Suicune.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Suicune gets out of this one. I think it's on... There are roles for Suicune to not. Or it would have to rest loop at the very least.
Yeah, it's not favored. No, it's just dead. Look at the work that this Skarmory's putting in. Is it just gonna...
Wow, that Skarmory's gotta be pretty fast, considering that it outspeeds Suicune. Suicune's usually running 210 at its slowest.
True. And Smoking Rocks is going to rely on this agility meta to win. It's not YOLO like HP Ground Scarm, right? Like it wouldn't be. It is! It's YOLO Scarm! That's crazy that Choice Band YOLO Scarm is only doing 38% to a meta, but avoiding a Meteor Match that's going to win the 1v1, Tetra. No fucking way. This is unbelievable. This is
untimely raise.
Genuinely unbelievable gaming. Holy fucking shit.
Wow. There was a replay in, I cannot remember what tournament. It might have been Revival 2, where something similar to this happened where a Skarmory got tricked a choice band and somehow got a kill with Drill Peck on something.
New poll is up for this one. YOLO Skarm getting tricked a choice band and just soloing the entire enemy team. I didn't have that on my bingo card going into today's replay of the week. I hesitate to say it once more, but that was insane.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually getting more fire votes.
We had triple steals on this team versus a Magneton, and Magneton was only able to eliminate one, and it was Jirachi.
Magneton haters are eating really well right now.
Dude, you would not believe.
Smoking Rocks in the chat. Thank you for submitting such an amazing game. There is like an immense amount of honor, and I gain so much respect for people who submit replays where they lose, because we're here to see some excellent gaming, and excellent gaming was had. That was literally insane. Does Volbeat get Baton Pass? Like, can you, like, is there a world where you can Tail Glow into a Baton Pass?
I think it does. However, Volbeat has some of the most god-awful stats of any fully evolved Pokemon this generation, so...
You know, and Tetra, tell me, I'm sure you've thought about this. I'm sure you've thought about Tail Glow Smeargle Pass before, right? Why don't people do it? I get that, like, you know, Swords Dance Pass, like, there's no true physical wall that's as good at walling physical attackers as Blissey is at walling special attackers, right? So Blissey comes in and it's just like, okay, you have +2 special attack, I don't care. Is that why, like, is it underexplored? Have you ever thought about it?
I have thought about it to some degree, but I think that most of the recipients for special attack boosts that you would want to give are generally going to set the Calm Mind themselves. Particularly anytime I run a CM pass team with Celebi, I'm generally passing to at least one other Pokemon that sets up its own CMs, like a Jirachi or a Suicune. So I don't know how much they need that extra boost as much as they need the extra bulk to get to +6.
True.
Although I do think Gengar could be really dangerous with a +2, or Zapdos could be pretty dangerous with it as well. These Pokemon that don't have a way to boost their own special attack. Mint
Yerb is saying that they will send me their Tail Glow Pass team that they made. I am very interested. Please do.
Oh, yeah.
Turn up Tetrafolium. I will try to do so. I'm going to be honest. When I'm in a call with somebody in Discord, I don't know how to turn up, like, your volume.
I don't know if you can do it while you're streaming. I've always had issues with that.
That might be it. All right, I'm going to try to turn the music down and then just turn my desktop audio up. And I think that will effectively do the same thing. Bear with me, gang.
Yeah, that's fine. I see mention of Octillery in the chat. He posted for later this week. No, I'm kidding. Octillery could be interesting, though.
We'll end the poll there. Go ahead.
I feel like Octillery is so commonly paired with Ninjask, though, that it's like really tough for me to like see it in any other light. I know what it is. I've seen its crimes.
It has suction cups, which do neither Roar nor Whirlwind work against Octillery.
That's right. All of your phasing will fail against a suction cups Pokemon.
But like, does it have coverage, like at all? Does it get Ice Beam at least?
Yeah. I mean, it's like water, ice. If you want HP grass or fire, I guess.
Yeah. I've got a bone to pick. That's like one of my biggest gripes with design, and it's a concept I thought about for making like a short video. It really pisses me off that practically every water Pokemon ever gets Ice Beam, but Ice type Pokemon don't get water coverage, and like it like often like makes it not even worth using Ice type Pokemon. Like if the distribution of Ice moves were more restricted, and to use Ice type moves you had to use Ice type Pokemon, I suspect that they would be more viable in like these early generations. But like, why would you use an Ice type Pokemon that like has bad typing and is like frail and doesn't have like defensive utility when you could just use like a bulky water type and throw an ice move on it. And like at least if ice Pokemon also got water moves, I'll be like, okay, well at least it like they get that kind of coverage, but they don't. Like Articuno doesn't get Surf, and I just feel like they did him very dirty, and it kind of pisses me off. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I'll ask you this though: how many non-ice type Pokemon can you think of in your head that would use Ice Beam if given the opportunity? Like a lot, right?
Yeah, many.
Like, yeah, pretty much every one of them. We're even using Ice Punch on things like Jirachi and Gengar because the ice coverage is so valuable.
It is, yeah.
But you flip it on its head, how many Pokemon that are not water type that get Surf use Surf?
It's rare. Like Mence will run Hydro Pump rarely, right? But you're right. It is rather. I mean, Raichu. You could see Raichu using Surf, but sadly you can't run Surf alongside Volt Tackle, can you?
Now I'll say this though: if Raichu got Ice Beam, I think you would rather use Ice Beam than Surf.
That's true.
Raichu.
But like it's the principle of the thing. Like even if the ice types wouldn't use it, why don't they get it? Like why do water types? Why can they freeze water, but like ice types can't like utilize water? Like I guess like
yeah,
in like a flavor sense. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean I'm for not banning, sorry, buffing ice types as well. The thing that I think that would be really nice is if ice types resisted water.
That would make a lot of sense, and I mean, I could get behind that. I'm checking my Mind Palace right now. It's doing various calculations, and it's telling me that would make for a more balanced metagame. The next submission is by noted chatter OmniWeeb, who is with us right now, or at least was with us very recently. I'm guessing that they're still here, and they're up. Ooh. I think they're HT 5310. And they're up against Koth 100, and we're nearly 1,600 gamers. So this is going to be a fun one.
So if it's HT 51, however many numbers that is, it's always a lead Hypnosis Gengar.
And what do you know?
The rest of the team is going to be a Celebi Calm Mind Pass with Raikou and Porygon in the back.
Okay, interesting. So what's their game plan for Blissey? Like, is there a Doug, or are they just going to blow up with their Gengar?
Yes, there's a Doug.
Interesting.
It's interesting to go for the beatdown here on Tyranitar. I mean, I know that this team has Doug in the back. Okay, they're going to risk going to it now.
Yeah, and they've done so.
Did you need 2 or 3, however many T-Bolts worth of damage to get the kill with Doug there?
That's a good question.
Wonder how bulky this Doug is. Probably pretty bulky.
Wow, misses Hypnosis and Drill Peck Scarm
can't
gets
hit
a kill.
Every one of them.
True. Yeah.
All right. So the CM Celebi is going to opt to take the damage on Scarm. Is it me, or is 36 like a little bit more than I would have expected? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's like stab super effective. Like I'm okay with that. It didn't like ring any alarm bells in my head or anything, but I don't, maybe it's YOLO Scarm once more. Who knows?
Perhaps, but I maybe it's just a high Spatak investment on the Calm Mind Pass Celebi.
Right. Well,
goes for HP Bug or Flying, probably Flying.
Yeah, it did 33% to a Swampert, but it's Hydro Pump, so maybe it's a more offensively oriented Swampert. That said, OmniWeeb has allowed for 3 spikes to hit the field. That's gonna be tough for a lot of these grounded Pokemon to deal with, and there's no spinner on the team, right?
Yeah, that's right. If I know ball, it's Porygon 2 Raikou is the last. Whereas Koth is running a pretty standard Aerobee team. If you don't know that one, to check out Revival for the sample teams.
Yeah, guys, there's so many good sample teams if you're looking to like find new teams like that have been like vetted more recently, and like there's like essays written included with every team to help you understand like the general idea of the team and give you like a starting point to understand how it's supposed to be used. Would highly recommend anybody trying to learn more about the tier to join the Revival server. And
wow,
so many toxic misses.
Never hits that toxic.
That's brutal. Oh no!
Oh my god.
Oh my god, dude! Holy shit! The entire Swampert is gone, and not only that, but this Swampert has been able to heal by virtue of so many toxic misses. Koth 100 has perhaps never been more upset about anything in their life.
It's a reasonable crash out.
We've all been there. I don't know that I've ever like typed. I mean, this clearly it's a Control C plus Control V situation, but the same message 9 times in a row, that's tough.
That's right. Alright, so this is probably sub-CM Jirachi, which I believe is generally Ice Beam coverage.
Right. Yeah, Ice Punch, and then could be T-Bolts, could be Psychic.
Thunder.
Yeah, could be Thunder. And you imagine that some move it has is likely to kill the Swampert from here, but doesn't get through the full para. That's a little unfortunate.
This is really tough, because even if the Jirachi gets through and kills the Swampert here, now
gets the freeze. Oh no.
This is the out you need, though.
Koth saying unbelievable.
That's not the play. You go for substitute and fish for the freeze.
Yeah, you want to set up, because then the Doug just comes in and revenges you. Right. So
yeah, that's right.
You got to take your sub, and 80% of the time, well, assuming that you don't get full parried, you get your sub up, the Swampert's still here. Yeah, I agree with you. But understandably, I think they were probably a little bit too tilted to see the correct line. This is wild. Down goes the Jirachi.
Up goes Celebi instead of your flying types, which I guess is to generate some momentum here. Probably Leech Seed or Calm Mind.
Yeah, you resist the Earthquake either way. You get to Leech Seed something coming in on 3 spikes. Of course, Quaxly has Recover here. And we're going to take the full para on Skarm. It's T-Wave, Ice Beam, Recover. Got to be Thunderbolt last, right?
Most likely. I've seen Jim use an Ice HP Fighting Porygon too. I find that when you use that, you're oftentimes missing it against a Water type or something of the like. And then HP Fighting is doing no good type of damage into a Blissey.
All right, so
very smart Doug Sack into the Skarmory, because Skarmory is going to give Raikou the most value out of all the Pokemon you could be in against.
This is crazy. I would have expected Sub or Calm Mind or something here, because there's no way the Skarm could... Well, I guess it could roar you out, though.
Yeah, so, that would be the worry.
Yeah, but you could get Toxic here. And, I mean, you don't kill the Skarm from that range, so what happens? You do just get roared. Okay, so good click. Good click from Omniweeb.
If this Porygon 2 ever goes to Earthquake range, it's over, though.
Yeah, exactly. It's gotta stay healthy. Leech Seed miss could be huge. We're gonna T-Wave the Celebi.
Gold Mason says that's the best move in the game, right?
I guess it can be. It can definitely overperform. And another dude in the chat from Koth 100. Koth, you gotta move on, buddy. Arrow gonna hard switch in here on a Recover turn. But you can't afford to get T-Wave, so I think you got to go right back to the Celebi. You get to heal a little bit off of that Leech Seed, but how meaningful is that going to be?
It could matter if Aerodactyl's having to switch into an Ice Beam.
Benchy saying that the Raikou is in Double Edge range after Spike, so agreed. It doesn't even need to be Earthquake. Arrow just needs to get the Porygon 2 into Double Edge range, but the full para there is so tough. It's still Leech Seeded, so the Celebi should be like mostly fine. You can take one more Ice Beam here. Try to get a Giga Drain off. No, just going to Psychic it down.
Yeah, Psychic makes sense. Get the most damage. You might get a Spadef drop. A Spadef drop practically wins the game.
Oh, that full para is unfortunate.
It depends on if Arrow can live an Ice Beam or not.
Celebi is going to go down to Ice Beam here, but I think Double Edge kills the P2 here. I think surely it could do... Can it do 53?
I'm not sure about that.
Oh, goes for Rock Slide, and Rock Slide didn't get there, so...
I think it would have been one of those situations where Aerodactyl could have gotten it after, like, Leech plus Sand damage, but I don't think it would have got there on its own.
Yeah, maybe needed Rock Slide flinch. Would Rock Slide have killed the Raikou after 3 spikes, even if you did get the first
Absolutely
flinch?
not. But
No.
27% of the time, Aerodactyl just wins the game when it's not supposed to. So
True. They did miss Toxic 4 times in a row. They truly did. And they ended up 1 elo away from one another after this. There's something poetic about that one. Well played by Omniweed. Good job dodging all those Toxics. Skillful maneuvering happened. Okay, mid, Noise, Fire, Insane. What do we think, gamers? Let's get a quick poll going. We still have several replays to get through. P2 lives too much physical bulk. Benji always dropping facts. Flanky saying Sky Attack would go crazy here. People have been talking about Sky Attack in my Discord lately.
I don't know who people are. I think if people might just be Flanky.
It probably is just Flanky.
See, I know that in Gen 4, Sky Attack is somewhat of an actual move because of Power Herb. That being the item that allows you to skip your charge turn on moves that have a charge effect. It's kind of interesting. It's almost like a proto Z move, if you're familiar with that it is.
I know that Z moves are like a gimmick of a certain generation, and you can do it like once a battle. And beyond that, I don't know. I missed that gen. Yeah,
I was gonna say I missed that gen too, but as in like I have longing for it. Gen 7 was pretty fun, but I don't know, the Z moves themselves. I don't necessarily miss those.
I'm actually quite excited about this. Yes,
I'm in this one. That can't be good.
I think it's great. I was actually disappointed because I mean, you and I were both on vacation this past week, but there was no Tetrafolium submission in either of the past 2 weeks for replay of the week. So I didn't think we were going to get to see any Tetrafolium gaming, but I'm glad to have been wrong. This is a submission from Revenant in the flesh here, focus punching into an incoming Swampert. Tetra, how could
Sensible.
you? Pretty sensible.
I mean, come on. The only time that you're punished for going for that is if this Tyranitar goes for exactly HP grass on turn 1, and if it does that, then, I mean, okay.
You just shake their hand, man. You give them a tip of the cap and go next. Rachi getting wisped. Unfortunate. Is this your Gengar switch in?
I guess so. It must be a Psychic Jirachi.
Doom Desire! Is this CB Doom Desire? Is this from like the team that you made for that video?
I believe that this is that team.
We're missing Hydro Pumps, though.
Awesome Hydro Pump miss. I love that.
Very sick. Oh, but Fortress takes the Doom Desire for a huge 25%. Massive.
I think it would have died if it got hit with a Hydro Pump there.
Yeah.
But I guess, you clicking 85% accurate moves, you're bound to miss a few of them.
True.
So here comes Jirachi. I'm probably Doom Desiring again.
Isn't Pump 80?
This thing is... Oh, yeah, that's right, 80.
Because I think Fire Blast is the only one, like the only base power special attack of 120 that has an accuracy of 85%. Which is why... Okay, you're getting pursued. Nice. Which is why, like, I don't like Flamethrower. Like, Fire Blast is the best value. You get the best bang for your buck. Just nut up and hit. That's what I say.
Fair enough. I think that Pursuit plus Doom Desire is really nice synergy because even if you kill the Pokemon that is about to take the Doom Desire, they still have to switch and take it on something else.
That is a really good idea. I'll be honest.
Only works in this gen. Doesn't work in any other gen.
Why not?
Because the Doom Desire would go off before you switch in other gens.
Oh. Huh. Oh, and it's simply HP Grass Jolteon.
Yeah, I think my team, basically, I had to pick whether I was sacking to HP Grass with Swampert or HP Ice with Salamence.
Yeah, and now you know the Ments can come in, but it's Roar Jolteon. I guess it's usually running phasing or T-Wave, right? So...
Yeah, so maybe it was a little bit of a copium for me.
Maybe
hoping that they would just go for T-Bolt.
Yeah, I guess...
But it is racking toxic damage.
True.
I think there was maybe 2 turns in there that I could have done something better.
Well, it's lead, rest, Zapdos. What do you have? You don't have an Aroma Bliss in the back, do you?
No, I can't remember if I'm Sleep Talk or not, though. I think I am.
You are, but we don't call Thunderbolt.
Nope.
Well,
HP
now...
Grass would be great, too.
Yeah, you decide to stay in, and Revenant is going to go to T-Tar here. Physical Tar, lead Tar.
So this is a little tough. I either have to stay in to burn my sleep, or I have to switch, and then I'm asleep for another 2 turns.
Exactly.
Because of how Sleep Talk mechanics work. So I opt to stay in and go for Toxic, and I get the best possible outcome is that this is not a mixed with Rock Slide.
Yeah, is that Fire Move, Pursuit Crunch Punch?
Yeah. I thought it was probably a lead BKC Tar, but it wasn't, so that was pretty fortunate.
If and when this Zapdos gets down in Ice Beam range, this Starmie looks primed to clean, but you should be able to take one from here. He's got to leave and sack the Fori. Para shouldn't matter too much. Jonal, thank you for submitting an excellent game and for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. Hope you have a good one, buddy. Men's coming in on a meta, and you're just getting slid. I guess slide hits everything revealed.
My thought was that I think I needed my Zapdos to win the game, and if it was going to boom, I'd rather it boom the Mence.
Sure. The Mence is getting value. And this is a tight one. I can't really tell. Clearly, you're going to sack the Mence. You have something in the back. Zapdos can just come in and click T-Bolt, and meta... You should just win, right? Oh, crit Ice Beam was their one out, and they get it. Arrow in the back.
Yeah, Arrow has a chance. It has to get 2 or 3 Rock Slide flinches or a crit there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, without that Ice Beam crit, I think you clearly win that. You kill Starmie, and then you get a hit off onto the meta, and then Earthquake with the arrow clearly cleans that up.
Yeah. I mean, we could talk about how unlucky I got, how many Hydro Pumps I missed. I didn't roll any useful moves on Sleep Talk. But, I mean, at the end of the day, people who are calculating how lucky something was are people who are not having fun with the game usually, so I'll take it.
Exactly, dude. We're playing Pokemon. There's going to be some RNG. Say GG and go next.
That's right. I did say my GG. I'll say sometimes I have a bad habit of if I lose the game to very obvious hacks at the end, then sometimes I don't say GG.
I think that's understandable. The lack of a GG in certain spots, that could be forgiven. Saying BG, I think everybody gets 1 BG a quarter. You get 1. If you're always saying BG when you get a little unlucky, you got to reevaluate yourself and probably get a little bit of therapy going.
Yeah, no. I don't like saying BG. The one that I do sometimes, and forgive me if you're in the chat and I've done this to you, is when I get a chain of bad luck there, I might just say well played.
like a sarcastic.
Exactly. A Heracross stays in against my Skarmory, who's got Drill Peck, and I get parried 3 times in a row, and I never get the Drill Peck off. I would just say well played.
Yeah. Well, I like that. It's an option select, because if they think you're being sincere, they're like, wow, that guy's really cool. I beat him, but he said a nice thing to me. I like that guy. But then if they realize that they got insanely lucky, then they realize you're being sarcastic, and they're like, yeah, that they kind of got a little fucked there. I should feel a little bad.
I'm not gonna lie. If you play me on ladder and I say well played, chances are I hate your guts.
That's good to know.
In that moment.
I'm taking notes. I have yet to run into you on the ladder. That'll be an epic day when that happens. I don't ladder enough, honestly, is the problem.
Yeah.
By the way, if this makes you feel any better, let me know if it does. Revenant in the chat is explained that this was actually, it was Rock Slide Agility Gross. So assuming that they could come in and live 1 Thunderbolt at 60%, they had it.
I mean, most likely. Now
they gotta hit a Rock Slide, and they gotta hit.
There's no shot that they're living Earthquake unless they're an insane Metagross set.
True.
But yeah, I mean, I think I had maybe 1 or 2 inaccuracies in the middle, but I think that the cards fell in such a way that it mattered basically.
I agree.
BKC's got something kind of interesting to say about this topic. Like we talk about, we watched a game and somebody made like the second best move instead of the first best move on turn 3, and then they get some string of like crazy hacks 1% to happen, and then we'll go and talk about how if they just made the best move on turn 3, the hacks wouldn't have mattered. And it's like, I don't know if he puts it like this, but are we gonna say that like if the Kansas City Chiefs go out and Patrick Mahomes throws 32 for 33 passes and they score 35 points and they lose to a last-second field goal, that we're gonna say, well, if Patrick Mahomes would have just hit all 33, then I don't know.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Believe it or not, I have not heard that particular BKC rant. I've heard many a BKC rant in my day, but I must have missed that one.
I think it's his video talking about odds maxing, which is not a BKC term at all. Which he loves to tell you about, how he hates those kinds of quirky language.
he hates people that sound like they are on the internet too much, which is probably why he wouldn't appreciate my content very much, because I kind of talk like that sometimes. I like
he's tight with Blunder though, isn't he?
Yeah, but they've played like against one another like competitively for like a decade. So like, and they're also like two of the greatest players of all time. So I think YouTube filtered my first post. I think Dagan's talking to Led Zepp's best one.
Gotcha.
Anyway, like I said before, we have many additional replays to get to. This is a Witgiz submission. I'm a Witgiz fan. I've enjoyed many a Witgiz replay in my day. I'm not sure which player Witgiz is, if they're even a participant here, but let's just jump in. Another mid-level Salaman's mirror match to start us off. 1500 and 1600 gaming, respectively.
The bulky waters come out on Salamence. What a surprise.
Yeah. Insane. Witgiz is Herald. Witgiz is Hash Brown Herald.
Gotcha. If he was Freaky Feet, that would be something interesting to admit into the chat.
I mean, hey, like, more power to you, man. Like, we're not here to, name and shame. That's not our game.
Yeah. I respect that.
I saw, like, a truly insane Instagram reel the other day of, like, some person who admitted that they were from my current home of Seattle. And they were talking about, like, how they're into, like piss play and a bunch of, like, other, like, weird, freaky shit. It was like at a comedy show, and they were talking to the person up on stage and like sharing a lot of information. And it's like, you didn't need
Got it. Everybody vote insane on this one so that Zets has to clip this.
No, you don't have to do all that. We should get back to the Witgiz gaming here. We're coming in on a meteor match. That was wild. What a prediction from Witgiz to bring the Swampert in on a steal move.
Yep. I mean, Swampert is generally my go-to. Switch to Metagross here. We're seeing a lot of Curse Swampert, huh?
Yeah, second Curse Pert of the day. But Gengar can just kind of come in on that. And that's a little problematic. And we're getting Wisped.
Yeah.
I don't like that. And we're missing a Hydro Pump.
I will say sometimes Curse Swampert runs Rest, but there's no chance that you're running Rest with the 3 moves revealed, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Refresh Curse
No, it's
Pert.
possible. It's possible. Yeah, that's possible as well. This is like it almost feels like blue offense with the Mence plus Hera plus. Ooh,
that's crazy.
Probably mattered.
And it was revealed slower than this Celebi by virtue of Sandstorm. So Freaky Feet was just kind of saying you don't have Psychic. They risked the entire Heracross. You had a Blissey, right? Like you could have like scouted, couldn't you have? I don't know.
Yeah, I think Blissey would have been fine. Metagross would have been fine. Salamence probably is fine. This is a banded Salamence, right?
Let's see. Yeah, no lefties. No lefties. And it's clicked Rock Slide 3 times.
Yep. One thing that I always get hit with in my videos is I'll say, oh, the Salamence is not getting leftovers, so it's probably banded. And then everybody in the comments is like, no, actually, if you look at the damage roll, clearly, and I'm like,
Clearly,
You know,
it's mixed ments with Lum.
that's great for you that you know that off the top of your head, and legitimately, I do mean that because that helps you out a lot. But
no,
like,
congratulations.
come on, man. I've only played 3,000 games. I'm not experienced enough to know that yet.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I have even a third of that number of games under my belt.
Well, it's time to get playing.
Yeah, I gotta grind more. I'll do a grind stream like this week. I think I'll probably. It's time. It's been time. This is rest turn if you have it, and no, we're getting a torrent hydro pump onto a Starmie. That's something.
Shoutouts to Dagon saying I'll get there. I assume that's what they meant. Also, sorry to put you on blast in one of my videos, but I don't know. It was too great to have gotten those replays.
I need a little bit of context here. What did you put Dagon on blast for? Also, is it can you explain? Is it Dagon or Dagon? Let us know in the comment section below. It's Dagon. They before I even asked, they were already typing that it's Dagon. Nice.
Dagon. All right. Sorry if I mispronounced that. That's my fear as a commentator, is that I'm going to say somebody's name wrong, or I'm going to get somebody's pronouns wrong, and then it's going to be awkward.
Dude, it's so hard because you're already thinking of so many things. Like, you're trying to process the game in real time. Like, you're trying to provide value and like make it more entertaining. And like the simplest things of like remembering like players' pronouns or even their name or pronouncing those things, like that stuff can actually be the hardest thing to keep straight in the moment. But it's also the thing that people get the most upset about. And like, I'm not saying that like commentators don't need to like work at it and like get better. Like, those things are important. But like, people will like complain about it like day and night, but like they've never tried to commentate before, and they think it's easier than it is, in my humble opinion.
Oh yeah, no, commentary can be tough. Especially solo commentary, you don't have anybody to bounce off of. You've got to come up with all this stuff on your own. I'm really envious of you and all the other people who are able to do the videos for revival tournaments.
Well, dude, if you wanted to jump on and do some commentary for revival, like, I'm sure they would love to have you, man. We're looking for, people with, a good mic presence and knowledge of the tier all the time. So that's something that we could talk about, brother.
All right, well, there we go. We're networking live on stream.
Let's go. Dude, it all started when you dropped a single YouTube video, and what did you put like something on the thumbnail or something like Zets noticed me or something? And then somebody posted in my chat, someone was like, hey, have you heard of this Tetrafolium guy? I'm like, no. And I checked you. I was like, oh shit, this guy's actually kind of cool. Yeah,
I was lurking in the chat at that time.
Wow.
It wasn't me. It wasn't my alt. Don't.
No, I believe you. Anyway, back to the replay. Wick is down to 2 Pokemon. It's lead Mixments and looks like a pretty normal rock spam Aerodactyl in the back. But is it too little too late?
Mm-hmm. Another Aerobee team, by the way. I think it's a really nice team. Something to try out if you haven't already. All right, last Mon Aerodactyl. How healthy is the Metagross?
It is at 35%. That's 1 flinch away, but it's leftovers Metagross, so you might need 2. Or a crit. Yeah, that's tough. There's 1 flinch.
1 flinch.
The Blissey's at 58%. The Gengar presumably dies to a single Rock Slide, and that's a 2nd flinch. Okay, Witkiz, we're gaming. Oh, and I like this. Go sack the Blissey and eventually try to bring the meta in such that it can leftover chip heal beyond 1 single Rock Slide.
Yeah. I don't think this Metagross has Protect. It would have probably clicked it by now.
Right. Yes, now you go, you sack the Gengar. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Witkiz still has to hit a lot of Rock Slides, too.
I wonder if this is the best call, because Gengar might be able to get there if it has Thunderbolt. And now this Metagross also has to hit a Meteor Mash on top of dodging the flinch.
And you don't. No. Well, Rock Slide could still miss, and it doesn't. Wow, Arrow just does it. What an end.
Right on cue. I hate to say it, but Freaky Feet got kind of demolished there at the end.
I agree, but I guess, what does Wisp have? Is it like a 70% hit, or is it 60? It's not worse than
75.
75. So to me, like, is there a world where you bring this Gengar in, and on the turn where it's allowed to click a button, Like, what if you sack the Blissey and just bring the full health Gengar in, and then Wisp, and then you can't. You're doing like half damage to the meta.
Yeah, I could see that. That could be an angle. I still think probably. I'm gonna check the damage calc. It's possible that Wisp is defensive Gengar. I mean, in fact, it's probably pretty likely. But against Aerodactyl, Thunderbolt is doing 86 max. So if this is a defensive Gengar, then the right play would be, I guess, to Will-O-Wisp if you get a turn. And yeah, I think what you said, it's still kind of risky, but I like your play slightly better because you have the chance to dodge the Rock Slide and get a second chance at it. You just have to not get flinched and hit the Willow, and if you do that, then Metagross basically wins all of the time. It would have to get flinched like twice, probably.
Yeah. Crazy one.
But I mean, we just saw it get flinched twice in a row earlier, so it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Freaky Feet, we're sorry that this happened to you. But in the future, maybe consider the Will-O-Wisp play. And also, maybe it wasn't even right. Maybe you did the math, and we can go straight to hell. In which case, fair enough.
Yeah. No, but maybe there's an argument there because you have to hit that play means you have to hit a Willow and a Meteor Mash, and Meteor Mash is slightly more accurate than Will-O-Wisp, so better to go for one Meteor Mash.
Yeah, I definitely see that as well. Dagan, I have been made aware of the player who made it to the very top of the ladder with the username your_Dagan0. That was, in fact, HClat. That is a true
Wow,
fact.
Okay. So there's more than one Dagan running around.
Speaking of HClat ADV is here. Hello, chat. Freaky Fleet should have saved their Salamence and intimidated the Aerodactyl. Goodbye. That is also incredibly fair. Hello and goodbye, HClat. Thank you, as always. We appreciate your feedback. Are UU replays acceptable to submit? Quack-a-lacking. Yes, we actually watched a UU match earlier in this very stream. You could submit any replay you want. I don't want to say I prefer Gen 3 OU, but it's the format that I know by far the best. So if you throw like, low tier stuff or like other gens at me, I'm just usually not going to have as interesting things to say, which is often why I try to have guests on with me like Tetrafolium, like Benji, who's often here as well, that might be a bit more familiar with other gens and might be able to, contribute something for that.
Good news is that if we're playing Gen 6 or later, then I've probably played that tier, at least at some point.
Yeah, so we've got a good amount of overlap going in that regard. Next Hawk, were you the one saying that you wanted to switch out your replay? Because we're here. It's time. It's time, Next Hawk. This is the replay that was submitted originally, and the comment associated with this submission was very funny endgame. But earlier, I think somebody mentioned that you wanted to switch, and now is the time if we're doing it. In interviews, he said he actually is a Pokemon latecomer. Yeah, I know I've asked HClat when he started before. I don't remember. But
it's gotta be. It has to be at least 5 years ago because of his Callus Invitational stuff.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if you told me that he started playing in like 2011 or something like that.
I don't think it was that early. He told me a little bit about his origin story and how he played because some of his friends were playing, but he's never played a cartridge game.
Wow.
He just jumped right in. Oh, it looks like I opened this replay twice. Is this even the right? Oh, you know what? Hold on a second. I think I copied the wrong thing. I gotta double check something.
I like this nickname, Glock and my Rachi.
Yeah, that's a good name. I'm a fan.
I'm gonna steal that actually. The Tetrafolium is no more. Welcome to Glock and my Rachi as a guest.
Okay, so this is actually a Mint Yerb submission. So what were we just watching? We just watched Witgiz. Okay, so the one that we're looking at right now is Mint Yerb. And the next one is going to be the next Hawk one. That's where I messed up.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right, let me fix my spreadsheet real quick so I don't like get confused again later on. Do that. Yeah, it seems Next Hawk is no longer with us, but this, I fucking love Bagels versus BK Cheese. This is the Next Hawk replay. Anyway, Mint Yerb. I think Mint Yerb is Glock in my Rachi versus Richie 113. I could be wrong on that.
Well, sorry to Mint Yerb if you're here, but if you're not Glock in my Rachi, I'm still rooting for Glock in my Rachi.
So am I, yeah. I hate to be the one. Oh, and we're just earthquaking into one another?
Wow, that's a lot of damage. 83.
And of course, Glock in my Rachi is just going to be going for a big focus punch there. Risking the entire Tyranitar like a gamer.
I mean, I think that's fair because you're revealed slower. You're saying if you switch out, at least I get a focus punch on something.
Yeah. Okay, Wish Rachi is here. And it's going to heal up a T-Tar unless another Roar comes down.
Or on HP ground.
Yeah, where's the rest of the YOLO Scarms that we ordered? I think we've seen one today. One YOLO Scarm. That's usually about the average amount of YOLO Scarms.
Yeah. We need a Butterfree to submit some more so we can see some more YOLO Scarm action.
I'm stoked for the Butterfree submission. It's a couple later on. And Mint Yerb is confirming that they are in fact Glock in my Rachi. Let's fucking go. Taunt Gengar is going to put in a lot of work on this Blissey. The Blissey is burned. It can't heal. It can't T-Wave.
This is a Gengar set that I need to use more. The Wisp plus Taunt.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, we're gonna
really good on your
the
TSS teams.
Yeah, I kind of want to play with this team. I'm not gonna lie. Glock and Rachi getting a second spike, only losing 25 net health to do so, and we have Protect for additional chip heal. Sure, why not? There's a whole Claydol though. I guess we still have a very healthy Gengar. And yeah, we're gonna opt to get up 3 spikes, and we're gonna eventually try to spin block.
Nasty crit though. Now you're risking Scarm here if you stay in.
Swampert. I like Swampert because it not only threatens the Metagross, but Claydol doesn't exactly want to come in either.
Yep. It goes for Protect, which I think is a little bit too passive. I would have went for an attack or Toxic.
Yeah, could you imagine if Mint Yerb clicked Earthquake into that Metagross? Obviously, like, Claydol could, like, maybe... But, I mean, Claydol, again, is not going to want to come in on a Swampert Water move. And Earthquaking that Blissey, the Blissey would have been effectively dead.
Yeah, but I think with the 2 moves that have been revealed on that Swampert, it's probably Mono Surf.
Yeah. Yeah, Toxic, Protect, Refresh, Surf. Scarm is here, and that is it. Yeah, CB Meteor Mash gets there. Can Zapdos do 51% to CB meta? Baton Pass?
Most likely.
Hidden Power. Yeah, trying to hit
probably
the,
just trying to get the Claydol. Yep.
Oh, and we're letting the Zapdos get T-Wave, clicking Roar. Okay, well, I kind of like that. Now the Blissey, when it comes in, it's going to be at like 11%. It's going to be very difficult to heal that back up.
Yeah, I think that's going to come back to bite this Blissey.
Rock Slide Claydol, by the way, is a 2-hit on this Gengar that dies to sand.
Mm-hmm.
Is this Choice Band Claydol? It's not. It doesn't have leftovers. That's insane.
It probably is.
Yeah.
All things considered.
It's offensive Claydol with Spin and Boom or something.
Mm-hmm. Vapakuno's got a team with a Choice Band Claydol. I think that's his most recent upload. He doesn't upload very commonly, though.
Oh, the doll is faster, and there go all the layers. So Blissey is going to be able to come in and heal a lot more easily now. The Skarmory's dead. We're never getting more spikes. And you can't really make progress against... Oh, it's not protecting. It's Wish Calm Mind. That's like the worst thing ever for Monopert.
That's right. I mean, your saving grace here is that its last move is probably Ice Punch, so it probably not gonna one-shot the Swampert, even with the boost.
Yeah, but now this Choice Band Metagross is getting healed back up to full. This is tough.
Rock Slide, CB.
Okay, so that allows Swampert to come in, but Blissey can... Oh, doubling the arrow to deny the Blissey heal is huge. And Earthquake kind of goes insane right now. Yeah, like what's left? The Claydol's gone. They have an arrow of their own. That's massive. That was necessary. And doubling their You stayed in an Earthquake like a gamer, and you caught the Jirachi.
Ooh.
That was sick.
I love that play, actually.
Yeah, you don't see that kind of a play very often with arrow. Just staying in and clicking a button as they get something in that resists or is immune to what you're locked into.
Oh, I really don't like that play, staying in with the arrow.
The arrow has been toxicked. And it's only doing about 42%, so unless it gets a really good roll here, you could go for double protect. You live on 3%. Okay, and the arrow's gone, and yeah, now your own arrow...
No, I think that's a mismanagement of the game there. I think you go Blissey, get your soft-boiled on Swampert.
Exactly. I agree completely, because now if arrow comes in, Earthquake just wins. Well, it can't kill meta from full, can it?
It depends on meta's investment, but most CB meta, I think, are not running quite enough HP. It might be a roll.
And locking into Rock Slide. Double Protect, and now you're going to be likely out of Choice Band Rock Slide. I would imagine Swampert can take it. And now you're going to go Blissey. That's the problem, though. Now we've actually found an opportunity to heal the Blissey again. Yeah, you can Toxic it all you want, but...
I think this is ultimately fine. You could go Jirachi here. Opting to get the second soft-boiled, which I think is also sensible.
Yeah, I think that was correct. Absolutely, you're up to 85%. Did you need to stay in
now
there?
It's
Heal Bell.
Heal Bell.
Okay.
Okay.
But all you have is
That's
Seismic
fine.
Toss. Yeah, I guess this is fine. But yeah, this part is not going to be able to make progress. I mean, you could stall the Heal Bells.
You see, I agree with you that the Pert is not going to make progress, but look at how many turns of leftovers healing that the Swampert got. It was on death's door, and now it's back.
Okay, well, you can't let this arrow get T-waved, right? Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Okay, and that lets the Swampert get more healing.
I think there was maybe an argument you go for Seismic Toss, because if it locks into a move that is going to 2-hit KO Blissey, then chances are one of your Steel types switches into it.
Yeah, and Seismic Toss 2-hit KOs either Mon from that position.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like, is there a world where you can somehow keep the Swampert healthy enough to stall all the Heal Bells? There's only 5 left. I don't know. I just think clicking Seismic Toss just is too good. Like, why are you soft-boiling when you're at 70% there? Like, take a Toxic and put the Swampert into range where, like, it's going to die.
See, the way that this is being played, I would think that there'd be a switch to Jirachi at some point, because the Swampert can't touch you. I mean, well,
what's that, 24%?
You're at 24%. Mm.
Yeah, you're letting the Swampert heal so much. Huh.
Yeah. It's almost like Rich Leone is playing this like they forgot that Blissey has Natural Cure.
Yeah, they are throwing Heal Bells away, and they're not making any progress. Like you know, Glock and Myrachi can just continue to protect.
Yeah, I mean, you have to at some point break this chain. It's not beneficial for the Blissey. Because you're only able to Seismic Toss like every other pass around.
Yeah, he's basically Seismic Tossing like once every like 3 turns or like 3.5 turns, and you're just not making enough progress. You're losing PP. You're down to 2 Heal Bells. And see, there you go. That's right. And now there's mix-ups, but like he's probably gonna protect, right? No, he goes arrow on a soft-boiled, but Toxic isn't gonna do enough.
Right, now you're kind of forced to click T-Wave with the Blissey here.
Oh my god, but went for Seismic Toss thinking that the Pert would come back in. That would have killed the Swampert, so that was kind of a 50-50. And I think Arrow is in a position, it is locked into Rock Slide, so it's not going to make much progress against the meta.
And gets the chip on meta, it's game over. this Aerodactyl's gonna click Earthquake 3 times and win.
You're right. Yeah, because you go and you sack the Swampert now. No, stayed in and rocks it again and gets the flit. Was it necessary? Like, did you do a calc and decide no, the Earthquake doesn't actually get there? But surely now the game is over. Nothing can take an Earthquake. Wow. Yeah,
Well played in the chat. Yeah, I agree that Mint Yerb found all the moves to win the game here, but I think there was just a fundamental misunderstanding of this metagame from Rich Leon, in my opinion. Like I said, that T-Wave, you had to click it there because if Swampert comes back in, all right, it gets its leftovers. It's probably doing the loop one more time, but you still have one more heal bell.
Yeah.
If you were playing for that loop that long, I mean, I guess you're committed to it. Whereas allowing the Blissey to die to the Aerodactyl, essentially, like you just lost the game basically. That's one of those instances where that's not. I don't think that's what BKC is talking about, where like luck can pay off there. Because yes, the rock slide flinch was very necessary to win the game for Mint Yerb or Glockamirachi, but like I don't think you had to play into that at all.
Yeah, I agree. I just think they were really, really passive with the Blissey. Like especially the one turn where they healed when they were at 70%. It just felt like they took their foot off the gas, and like the Pert like can only heal with Protect and chip healing. The Arrow is at like 30 or 4%. You have Heal Bell and you have like Soft Boil, but like click Soft Boil when you're getting like the full 50% value. And just like stay a little bit more aggressive, and I think you could eventually forced Glockamirachi to give up one. The Arrow's forced to lock into a single move that can't win the game, and then you win.
Right. I mean, I think there's still outs. Maybe like an Earthquake crit on Blissey. Maybe Mint Yerb still wins the game there, but I'd rather take Earthquake crit chance in the end game than the line that was chosen.
Okay, well, another fun one. Very interesting endgame. And now we do finally get to the next Hawk game, which they haven't said anything since I brought this up before the last one. So I do not expect that they are going to be submitting a different replay. I fucking love bagels. I think I played... I played Thunderous Bagels in Mushy League, and I fucking love bagels. Was cheering for Thunderous Bagels, and to be frank, they were kind of cheering against me in the game chat of some of those games, and I didn't think it was in great taste, some of the things that were said.
Wow. You hate to hear that. Just for that,
look at that.
I'm boycotting bagels.
But they're a 1742 gamer, but I could be maybe it wasn't this exact gamer. Don't kill me if I'm wrong about some of these facts. BK Cheese. That's a nice nickname. I suspect that this is Next Hawk.
Do you think that BK Cheese would taste good on a bagel?
That's a good question. Are you familiar with the Melee scene at all, Tetra? Like, have you ever like followed like competitive Smash?
I've dabbled.
PPMD, Dr. PP, one of the gods of
one of my
Melee.
favorites. My hometown boy, actually.
Oh, really? North Carolina, right?
But yes, he grew up in a town not too far from where I grew up.
He's known for being a big fan of bagels.
I mean,
notorious for being a big bagel fan.
That's not a North Carolina thing, so, but that's
lead
fine.
Hypnogar once more. Second lead Hypnogar we've seen. Harry Balls. Oh,
fantastic nickname.
Yama getting nearly 2-hit by T-Bolt. Maybe that's a like modest Zapdos. Yeah, doing 20% to Blissey. Does that tell you that that's modest? What does your head calc tell you?
I think that's high roll timid or low roll modest, I think.
Oh my god, that Leech Seed value is freaking crazy. Ooh, Gengar in front of Immense. Well positioned. Oh, exploding on the Blissey
Goes for the
coming
boom.
in. Hell
Perfect.
yeah.
Wait, hold on. 86? Is that banded Gengar?
Maybe. Like that.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Banded Hypnosis Gengar is a thing in the lead.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess you have the option select of like sleeping something and then pivoting out or just like exploding. Wonder what kind of things that you would want to just see be explode into, but nevertheless.
Maybe like a lead Suicune or something like that.
Okay. Gets the knockoff through Para.
Mm-hmm. I believe that Jim talked about how knockoff it makes it really awkward because you kind of have to let the Pokemon that beats the knockoff user get knocked off. Because say you pivot to something that doesn't want to stay in versus Hariyama, you're gonna have to switch, and you're allowing another knockoff. So
Yeah.
you kind of have to just bite the bullet. I think sensible though to let the Agile Pass Zapdos get knocked off.
Yeah, and look at this Suicune. It better have Ice Beam, otherwise it's obviously going to be completely walled. And it's just Roar
Yeah.
Vaporeon.
I was gonna say Roar or Haze just ends the Suicune's ambitions.
Absolutely. Oh, okay, and Skarm comes in to take an explosion. So
Goes for an aggressive one there.
could be very difficult for Bagels to establish spikes in this one. And you imagine that we're not going to be going to Suicune now that we've seen Roar, Water Absorb, Vaporeon in the back. So what kind of T-Tar would you expect here? Well, it has Ice Beam.
Ooh,
But you're not winning the 1v1.
probably Mixtar with this, but if Ice Beam's your best move, you don't have Crunch.
But
Gets the
clearly-
freeze.
clearly you just get the freeze.
Never mind.
Okay,
Well, good news for Vaporeon, you can't get frozen on this, thanks
Yeah.
to Freeze Claws.
Thank you, Freeze Claws. Oh, and we're going to
Interesting.
wish up rather than killing the T-Tar. Sure, probably fine. Yeah, denying
Ice
the
Beam
wish onto the
Earthquake.
Claydol.
The only time I've ever seen Ice Beam Earthquake on the same Tyranitar set is DD.
Okay.
But I would think that you would go for DD or Rock Slide rather than Earthquake into this if you had that. So that's a strange option.
Why would you run DD Ice Beam instead of DD HP Grass?
So
Flygon?
HP Grass is great for Swampert, but Ice Beam specifically for Flygon, it's
Right.
preferred on teams that have a bad matchup into Superman, which is not ultra common on the kind of teams that you're running a DD Tar, but it happens.
Interesting. All right, well, let's see how this progresses.
I'm not gonna lie, I've had some times on the ladder where I know that I'm playing against a guy with Superman, and I've switched the last move to Ice Beam just to beat that guy.
How do you know, though, that you're going to face the guy on, like, just because, like, you've queued up into him, like, recently
When you're queuing late, you're gonna run into the same person.
over and over? That makes sense. Okay, the Claydol's back. Could it be clicking Boom? No, it doesn't live the Giga Drain. Who do you favor in this spot? I kind of can't tell who I like more.
I mean, I'm slightly favoring Bagels because the Vaporeon last versus Suicune probably just wins. And then we're down the entire Celebi, so Zapdos has to pull this out.
It just dies to Dragon Claw.
So we're playing for last month Suicune, which tells me that Suicune has to have some move to hit Vaporeon, or the plan, I guess, is just to rest PP stall. But
And, by the way, Bagel's going for Fire Blast Burn. That's kind of, I mean, I guess, like, are you just hoping that it doesn't have rest? Like, in what world is that the click? I mean, I guess,
think
like,
that makes sense if you're playing against like an offensive Suicune last.
Yeah. And maybe they accept, like, okay, if this is rest Suicune, like, it beats everything I have. Because, like, Vaporeon has Surf, right? So, like, your only out is, like, how do I beat the only Suicune I'm even capable of beating? And it probably does mean getting that burn. Okay.
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense from Bagel's side. We're gonna see the Vaporeon switch.
Yeah, but, like,
So
how
now
many
it
Surf
basically
crits
comes
would
down
you need?
to. Yeah, I mean, it comes down to who's gonna PP stall whom. If Suicune doesn't have rest, it might get a little dubious, but Suicune has so many moves. Yeah, I think this is hyper fast because this is pretty simple.
Yeah.
What's going to happen here? It does have Ice Beam.
Okay, so it has outs. If it ever gets a freeze, that's probably going to be the game. And we see...
If this is Ice Beam Ref Suicune, that's probably the worst possible matchup for Bagels.
Yeah, only 12 Ice Beams remain. So can Vaporeon with Wish Protect... Each Ice Beam is only doing 40%. So yeah, you're not net gaining any progress. You need a freeze or a crit if you're BK Cheese. We're down to 8 Ice Beams now.
Mm-hmm.
There's enough wishes.
Anchor Cross
right?
could tell you the odds on this one.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of gamers that have seen this position more times than we can count. Okay, now starting to Calm Mind and trying to force Bagels to waste wishes. There's interesting mind games happening. And now, yeah, just Calm Minding. It's crazy that we still have only seen 2 moves. And Bagels is now just trying to switch back and forth to, goad BK Cheese into sending some of the last few Ice Beams. There's a Wish you're going to protect here. Calm Mind so as to not waste PP. But only 3 Ice Beams now. Smoking Rocks.
Wish.
If only the Vaporeon was Rock Smash Poliwrath. Yeah, shouts to that replay from last time. That was insane.
I would do it. Well, actually, I don't know if that would do it. I think the Ice Beam might beat the
It's Rest.
Poliwrath, and you don't have another physical attacker on this team, I don't believe. Drill Peck Scarm, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, you could... Thing is, like, if BK Cheese ever surfs, like, the Ments and or the Scarm... See, I'll be honest. I had no idea Pressure didn't affect Wish. Now I'm fucked. I thought it would... Well, I guess no, because the Wish doesn't target Suicune. It targets the user.
Yeah, only moves that target.
Huh.
That's right.
Yes, there's a lot of rests left. Or wishes left.
So basically the win condition for Bagels here is this. If the Suicune runs out of Ice Beams, then Vaporeon can stay in forever, but you have to be smart about your switches because you don't have enough PP to PP stall the Suicune entirely. But it's very good for Bagels to identify that they can't attack into the Suicune because attacking the Suicune would allow it to rest and that you just lose turns for that.
Exactly.
Now, granted, you can just switch freely. So
that's true. One thing I want to point out as well is like what BK Cheese needs to do is predict the switch and surf as Vaporeon leaves. They haven't done so yet, but every time, like this is an example of a turn, just the previous turn. Where Salamence comes in on a Calm Mind. Every time something that isn't a Vaporeon is here, BK Cheese just clicks Surf. And both times the Vaporeon comes in and takes a Surf freely. So that's like the mind game that's gonna like continue to develop.
They're going for it there. I mean,
yeah.
Granted, Suicune has like what 17 Surfs left or something crazy.
20.
Like 20 Surfs.
Still 20. Yeah.
You can afford to get it wrong a few times.
Yeah, they only have to get it right like one more time. And then I think they should be able to PP stall the Vaporeon because it won't ever be able to switch. It has to use moves. And eventually using those moves will allow the Suicune to rest. So Bagels has to like switch to Skarmory without getting surfed like so many times until the surfs are gone. And I just don't I don't know that you can win that many 50-50s.
So yeah, here's the rub. Like you would initially think that Vaporeon is a hard counter to Suicune, but depending on the situation, it may not be.
Yeah, maybe you got to chuck some move on it that has like 64 PP.
Baton Pass, that would be the idea.
Yeah, and then if you're Vaporeon last, then
and you're slower. Like Baton Pass is the perfect move to win this endgame.
Oh, we're struggling? The Vaporeon is out of PP.
We're gonna need to see like 2 crits in a row from the Skarm.
We'll go to fast here. Yeah. Go to vape on the surf. Oh no, just resting. Smart.
Yeah.
Well, that does allow you to go back to Scarm and try to drill peck some more.
I mean, but that's fine because you'll live to crit drill pecks. Oh well, maybe not.
Yeah.
Actually, with the sand damage.
Decides not to go for it and still just rest. They risk the whole game there on another crit, which is fine. 15 out of 16 times you're fine there.
Yep. There's definitely somebody who would watch this replay, and if the second crit came down, talk about how on turn 37, actually, BK Cheese should have done this play. It would have avoided the Suicune endgame. Although, granted, playing for the Suicune endgame there, I feel like BK
Wait,
Cheese
there was an Ice Beam left? I thought they used them all. No way. They saved one Ice Beam that entire time so that they could wait until Vape was last. And
there you go.
It's struggling, and that's the game.
Yeah. Although, I mean, having any rest left basically wins the game.
That sped things up a little bit.
Could you imagine if there was no sand in this game? It literally would have been a draw.
Wait, but what? Oh, you're out of rests. Oh, Suicune only has Surf. So it has to heal the Vaporeon repeatedly. Hold on a second.
Oh, man.
Wait, what? What the fuck is going on? Yeah, Suicune can't rest anymore. So I think the Vaporeon is actually going to win this.
I think you're right.
Oh, Dagon says Haze also has 64 PP.
That's true, but I don't know if Haze... does that get affected by pressure? I'm not sure. Baton Pass, I'm pretty sure, does not.
That's a good question.
And then Baton Pass gives you a free switch because the Suicune has to attack the Vaporeon. So,
in terms of flavor,
to whatever.
I would think Haze wouldn't be affected by pressure because it affects both Pokemon. So I would think of it as like kind of like affecting the field. But I feel like it's so arbitrary, the decisions that they made for like so many of like those interactions.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure.
Wow.
See, this is an interesting situation here because if there was no sand, I think this would have been. It either would have been a guaranteed draw because neither Pokemon can make progress because the leftovers does all the progress, or it would have been legitimately a 1,000 turn game.
Yeah, we got out of there with only 137 turns.
So
Nice.
Count your blessings. See, this is why Tyranitar is #1, because if you didn't have Tyranitar, we would have sat here and wasted probably 30 minutes of our life watching the rest of this.
Yeah, I mean, if with no sand, it legitimately might have just been a stalemate. We could have been here forever. I'm not sure about like the struggle mechanics in this gen, but
yeah, it's because like, frankly, they picked the worst possible world for struggle, where it's this really weak move. And it deals like recoil damage as if it was like
percentage.
Double edge.
Yeah. In later gens, like you lose a quarter of your health every time you struggle, right?
Right, exactly. Which is like, I think that's more in line with what the design was. Like the idea is, if you run out of PP, your Pokemon should be virtually dead.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Like, I think that was absolutely an improvement. Okay. So I think we have like 8 left. We'll see if we can get through all of them. We could always tack a few on to the beginning of the next replay of the week as well, because now we're on to another Flanky. And I think it's time for me to check the DM I received from Flanky, because they wanted to switch something.
Gotcha. While you're checking that, shout-outs to Flanky for having some really good art, actually. I've made a community post shouting them out. They shared some art with me over DMs.
Dude, low-key, I may be working with Flanky on some thumbnail ideas for my next video. I was like, yo, Flanky, like, do you want to help me out? And he was like, dude, yeah, totally. Let's talk. So there might be some Flanky artwork featured on the channel very, very soon.
There you go. See, my sort of philosophy is I don't want to work with an artist that I'm not gonna pay. I don't have any qualms about featuring artwork if you have artwork and you want me to feature it on my channel, I'm absolutely willing to do that. But like I'm not trying to get free commissions, basically.
Right. That's totally fair. And I offered to pay Flanky, and he was like, "Dude, don't even worry about it." And I'm gonna try to force him to accept some money, if we're able to complete this project. But Flanky 0 versus average Skarmory enjoyer. This looks to be a friendly. No elo posted here. I can never remember who average Skarmory enjoyer is, but they're a member of the server. I see that name on occasion.
I think that's Metzaloth.
Yeah, could be Mezzaloth. Any Clinks or Drillburs in the chat? Those are not, like, in my mind palace, like, those are not actually Pokemon. I understand that Clinks is, like, literally like a gear. Is that a Pokemon? Is that like a Pokemon as much as like an Espeon or like a Pikachu is? I know I sound like a grandpa, like, you know, the old man, like, you know, yelling at the cloud right now.
All right, my hot take is it's as much of a Pokemon as Magnemite is.
Okay. Magnemite at least like has like a little bit of like personality. It's not literally just a gear. And I get that Magneton is just 3 Magnemites. And that's like, okay, that's not the most creative thing of all time. That's fair. But it's like kind of a cool magnet. There's like colors. It's got like eyes.
I guess, I mean, I can see that argument, but I don't know. I like the Unova Pokemon designs. I mess with the ice cream cone.
The ice cream cone. Magnemite is not as much of a Pokemon as Pikachu, but it's more of a Pokemon than Clink or Clank or whatever the fuck those. Anyway,
yeah.
Flanky 0. They said that if we were only to watch one, we got to watch this. Lead Machamp focus punching into a Skarmory. Give me a crit. Didn't even need it to do 98%.
Oh my lord, that's got to be banded.
That's got to be banded. r/Butterfree joined in to the friendly, and Kingdra just coming into the mix. It's just here.
Shoutouts to Skarmory, by the way, for saying, you know what, I'm actually gonna live that anyway.
Yeah, just coming in. Calm Mind Blissey is here, and you're now trapped forever.
Uh-oh.
So what is...
Well,
what
actually, I don't know if this is uh-oh. What are you going to do? Toxic?
Toxic
Yes,
Protect
okay.
Wish Stall.
No, that's perfect, actually.
Okay. Mezzaloth versus Flanky. 2 of the more active members of the community thugging it out here. That freeze feels like it's going to be pretty meaningful. Can you get through the Umbreon in time? No! It's going to thaw and get a wish up, and this Blissey is... That's going to do it.
Yeah. This is awesome. I've never... No Protect there, by the way. Oh, never mind. You're not awesome anymore, Flanky.
Flanky, this is immoral behavior. Come on. What are you doing?
Ooh. You're also missing out on, in my opinion, Umbreon's best move, which is Pursuit.
Yeah. Can we just make a small adaptation to the team and call it a day? Like, because like, what the hell is this? I also get, like, you know, Pursuit, like, after you've mean looked isn't really doing anything, but it's the option select. Are you going to mean look or are you going to Pursuit? And like the opponent is kind of in a weird spot. We're just bringing Doug in on the DD Tar.
That's such a risky play.
You're not going to be able to kill it from full.
As well, but
yeah, the double DD.
Yeah, this is why it's so risky.
Oh,
a Salak?
But you don't need Salak. You need Leechy here. If it was Leechy, do you just like win?
I don't know. If Machamp is the switch, you probably just win anyway. Oh,
Earthquake doesn't
Machamp
get there.
Different.
Yeah, you needed the Leechy, average Skarmory enjoyer. But okay, we're not even gonna sack the Machamp. No need to. We'll just bring the Umbreon in.
See, and this is why you want Pursuit, because Umbreon is so good at pursuing the Starmie. Really good on Fortress teams that use spikes.
Yeah, I want to experiment with Umbreon more. And
yeah, you should talk to Benji. He's got great Umbreon teams.
I will. I'm surprised that Umbreon hasn't come up in our discussions thus far. Shiny Ladian getting involved in the chat.
Oh, but the thing is that Umbreon set does absolutely nothing into Skarmory thanks to Keen Eye.
Oh yeah, that's true.
The one time that ability ever comes into play.
Flanky is defending themselves in our chat, saying that they did apologize in the game chat about the sand attacking. And to be honest, that's like the least you could do. That's the bare minimum. When you're doing something immoral, like...
I view that as like you You apologize to somebody for
Oh!
like stealing money out of their wallet.
It's
though.
triple trapper. Oh, D-bond, but you're not even dead.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't think you
I
can.
wonder if you have a move there.
Yeah, maybe you're
on the
trying
Kingdra.
to
Taunt?
taunt. You're dead to
No.
sand. I think
Oh,
they were
playing
taunting the recover or something to stall the Destiny bonds.
trying to play around the Destiny bond, but you can spam Destiny bond, which I think is another one of the small things in this generation that I don't like.
Does it like fail if used in succession later on?
Yes.
Does Klops also get mean look?
Yes, it does.
Flanky, this is a team. You've got a squad here. I don't know if it's a well assembled one, but it's a squad nonetheless. I must say,
Honestly,
I'm enjoying it.
I mess with this vision if you replace Sand Attack with Pursuit.
Yeah, I kind of. There's things that I like about the team. Lum is insane and actually incredibly necessary. Can HP Grass get there? No, it's just Surf. What does that tell you about the coverage? You got Ice Beam and what else? It's usually Grass or Electric.
I think sometimes.
Oh, it was Electric.
Okay, that's Electric.
Whoa.
Okay, didn't go for it there. Interesting. Probably trying to call the Swampert on Switch.
Yeah, that must have been
it.
it.
Play.
This is something.
So Umbreon's here, clicking Wish. See, if you had Pursuit, this Gengar can't win.
Yeah.
From here. Now you're going for Sand Attack.
Yeah, and you're walled by the Gengar too, because like all you have is Toxic. So you're walled by Skarmory and Gengar. I mean, not that like you're really ever doing anything to Skarmory with Umbreon, but
yeah.
Huh. Interestingly, with like Pain Split and Will-O-Wisp, like the Klops can kind of just like 1v1 the Starmie. I wonder if it's running Shadow Ball.
But I'm gonna keep harping because I need this Sand Attack to go away. If you had Pursuit here, you win this game like
so many turns ago. So many turns ago.
Yeah, and then I don't know how you feel about double ghosts. I tend to find that it's unnecessary. A Spiker instead would have been really good. Like if Dusclops was instead Fortress, I think you actually have a decent team here.
Behind every like insane flanky team. Oh, okay. Synchronize is kind of nice. That's really helpful against the
that's
Gengar.
great. That's great to play for. This is why I like running a Heal Bell with Umbreon, because I'm fishing for stuff like this all the time.
I didn't know it got Heal Bell. That's crazy.
Well, Umbreon doesn't get Heal Bell, but
okay.
One of its buddies in the back gets Heal Bell.
Yeah, because then you can just synchronize spam and like activate it multiple times. I mean, I'm if you wish up the Kingdra, like doesn't it just like kind of win?
You kind of have to play for a Toxic Stall on this Starmie. Because like Starmie can just kind of heal out of range, and the Kingdra's low enough and it has no leftovers that you might be able to 1v1 with Ice Beams. Plus, you don't want to risk getting frozen on Kingdra. That would end the game. Well, no, but you'd have to do this anyway.
And the Starmie's just gonna stay in, and it, of course, it misses the Surf.
Yeah, albeit not like it would have mattered that much.
Right. That was something. There are ideas on this that I am a fan of. I think if we just make this a little bit more ethical, then I think we're really cooking up something special. Flanky, thank you for your submission.
Mm-hmm. See, Benji said in so many words, if your team can beat Beer Lover, then it's not a bad team. That is completely bastardizing what Benji said, but
right. And this isn't exactly Beer Lover, is it? Or is it? Is this the 5? I always think
6.
Zapdos is in the 5, but it's not. There's Big 5 Zapdos, there's Big 5 Starmie, which is Beer Lover, right?
Yeah. Which I'm never sure what to run on like the Tyranitar set for Beer Lover. I think they like the Pursuit Roar, but I don't know if I'm not a big fan of that as a lead Tyranitar.
Yeah, well, we've done the thing. We have defeated Beer Lover with this. Flanky, what's this team name? Let us know. This team is a Beer Lover variant made by Derpy Monkey. Average Scar Marine Enjoyer slash Mezzoloth. Thank you for your additional context and input. I'm going to be honest. I think I've got like 2 more in me. And then we have, I think we'll have 4 or 5 left. Let's do this. And then I want to do the Butterfree one. And we're going to attack we've gotten mostly caught up from 2 weeks of not having a replay of the week. Let's do 2 more. The ones I don't get to will be included in the following week.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do Moody versus Seldenami. This was a Moody submission on 6/19. No context whatsoever. And it was on the ladder.
This is an older game, by the way. September. I don't know if they can see that, but...
Oh, yeah, no, this is from last year. This is nearly a full year old.
Yeah, shoutouts to Seldenami for having really strange teams. They should have beat me with a belly drum Hariyama, but we both found out that Donphan actually lives a brick break from +6 Hariyama.
That's fucked up. that's like forbidden knowledge. Corvin is saying that this is going to be heat because Seldenami is involved. Let's find out.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Quillfish lead. Probably the best possible lead into Suicune. That's actually not true.
Destiny Bond on a supposed Psychic. But it was just a rapid spin. I want to talk about Quillfish someday. We don't have to get into it now. But
yeah, Quillfish is an interesting Pokemon.
It's the fastest spiker in the literal generation.
Yeah. I bet if you get a Shiny Ledian on the line, probably says that it deserves to be OU more than Cloyster.
More than Cloyster. Yeah, but Shiny Ledian admitted that they played with Cloyster recently and they stepped their stance back a bit. They admitted, oh, maybe I overlooked Cloyster, maybe I was a little too harsh. Counter Blissey. There goes your rapid spinner.
Playing into it still. It was revealed and then you said, I'm going to Earthquake anyway.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it was like a hard read, but what are you reading, Seldenami?
To me, that would scream Dugtrio, but there's no Dugtrio there.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna sleep sack the
Spams
Gengar.
the Spore. I like a Stunt Spore on my Spore Breloom.
Yeah, I like that. It gives you something to do after you've spored certain things. Also, like a lot of Breloom, I feel like they're kind of walled by Gengar. So like Focus Punch, Mach Punch, what would you expect last? Salic Quillfish, by the way, is here, and it's got 1 turn to do something. Destiny Bond, of course, and yeah, Seldenami
around it.
wisely
Seldenami's a
playing
smart
about
gamer.
it. That was sick. We've seen that interaction in a previous replay of the week, folks. We've seen that Destiny Bond doesn't work if the Pokemon dies to sand. Leech Seed last, at least to let you do something to Gengar, I suppose. But we're going for Sub-Seed. Not sure what that sub is meant to accomplish, though.
I don't know if I would have went for another sub there. I think it's pretty obvious that Ice Beam Milotic is just going to Ice Beam again.
Huh. Yeah, so you give up the entire Breloom to get a Leech Seed on Milo, but it can simply switch out to the Blissey. Oh, Mirror Coat Milo. Whoa. That's crazy. Charizard was trying to get in front of presumably the Blissey and or the Suicune? No, the Suicune wouldn't have come in. But...
Suicune and Milo on the same team. The only team that I know that does that is V5, and this is not V5.
This is triple water. With a Blob and a Gengar, an unrevealed Gengar. What a weird team, yeah.
You're kind of forced to run Blissey on this type of team. Otherwise, Zapdos has its way with you.
True. Or you could just run Lantern. Quad water with Lantern.
Nice.
Yeah, that's why the Zard wanted to come in earlier. But with only 4 Mon remaining, it's not going to be able to outpace Soft Boiled.
Yeah, I guess Lantern is an option, but HP Grass is a little bit... I guess you still win the one-on-one, but Lantern HP is so premium in that matchup, though.
Huh.
And see, this is where losing the Breloom to try to do something against the Milotic is coming back to bite you, because Breloom's beat up contribution here would be another 15% or so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, why not just go Suicune against Milo? Like, it showed Mirko, but you didn't know that at the time. And, like, it just, you kind of wall each other. It lets you kind of reestablish a bit of momentum. You save your Breloom.
Ooh, the Thunder miss. Thunder Blissey? I'm not a big fan, but...
You are kind of stalling out these soft-boileds. You have one fewer beat-up than they have soft-boiled. That's something. Oh, crit beat-up! That did 30%! What? Oh my god!
The crit from Tyranitar's beat-up was going to be the win con there.
That's fucking crazy.
Frankly, a crit from any of them probably would have put Moody in the dirt.
Okay, yeah, now Zapdos is just going to kind of go in. We just take the pair on the Milo. The problem is Mirror Coat is still a thing. So you go for HP Grass. Presumably you don't die. Wait.
Yeah. Oh, so this is great. A learning experience for all of us here.
Oh, I remember this now. Please go on. Go on.
So Hidden Power is classified in the game as a normal type move, which means that it's a physical move, which is obviously not entirely true, because depending on the type that you roll for your Hidden Power, it will deal special damage. So this is presumably HP Grass.
It's got to be HP Grass, because the only other super effective would just be Thunderbolt.
Yeah, which I mean, HP Electric Zapdos is insane. Don't do that.
Please don't do that.
Yeah, so while HP Grass is a special move in terms of calculating damage, the game views it as a physical move. So counter will actually hit you for going for Hidden Power.
Yeah.
It won't. Mirror Coat won't hit you though. So very, very good game knowledge by Seldenami, who, like I said, is a very smart gamer.
Yeah, that's some wisdom right there from Seldenami. I thought that it was HP Grass because you don't die to Mirko because you did less damage, and then the Thunderbolt wins. But no, Seldenami is just on that level. They're like that. And now T-Bolt kills, of course, and Snorlax, okay. If there's anything that could bring it back, perhaps it's a Snorlax. You are T-waved.
Snorlax is what you like to see, for sure.
There is still a whole Tyranitar, but if you get rid of the Zapdos, yeah, I think Seldenami needs to save this. And yeah, we are going to go to the Charizard on a return. But this is tough. What do you have to hit the Snorlax?
I was definitely not expecting Snorlax last on this kind of team.
Wow. Okay, T-Tar has to come in, and it does. Have we seen much? No, he hasn't clicked a button. It's Leftovers Tar, and it looks to be Pursuit Tar with Crunch.
Pursuit. I was going to say, if it is Pursuit Tar, then this is looking not great, but the Para is very fortunate.
Oh, self-destruct. Okay, yeah, I guess. Well, the Gengar is asleep, but the Gengar is the only thing that you have that can... Oh, the Suicune's also asleep. Thunderbolt T-Tar. Whoa. Special
it's like
T-Tar.
Boatar, but not quite.
This is something. Okay. Good roll for Suicune there. It had just taken 47, then only took 42. It could have died to sand with a different roll. Wakes up and surfs. But yeah, still Zapdos is going to come in. And Gengar's going to have to wake up. It hasn't spent any turns asleep. Oh, you're T-waving the Suicune. You want your own Suicune last.
Yeah, I don't know about that play.
Yeah, because Moody can just rest if they want. Huh. Okay.
Now you kill.
Yeah, now you take. Doesn't take it though.
Okay.
Yeah, I really don't know about. I'm sure Seldenami has a reason. Maybe. What if it's Roar? It's lead Suicune, right? So maybe they're gonna Roar.
That would be my guess. Although sometimes,
but still, you have to get through the whole Suicune.
Yeah, sometimes you're dropping Roar for Ice Beam though, so that you're not as bad into Salaman's lead.
Well, with lead, maybe it's not rest. We're gonna find out. They're gonna go to full stacks, and then we're gonna play this
Honestly,
out. And Moody's just clicking Surf. They're just going for their crit immediately.
I think you wake up in CM, because if this is a Hydro Suicune, you need to mitigate your chances to die to like a crit +1.
Yeah, and look at this. Moody gets a crit. It only does 28%. So like, why are you not CMing? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hydro Pump is... Oh, Mirror Coat!
Oh!
They saved it! They saved the second Mirror Coat the whole
No,
time!
no way.
No
Double Mirror
fucking
Coat
way.
Bulky Waters?
Holy shit. Moody, you're a god. You're a fucking legend.
I was gonna say, I have an IRL friend who I actually credit him more with getting me into Gen 3 OU than Jim. I credit Jim because Jim got him into ADV.
Oh, nice.
But he was showing me one of his teams, and it was a CM pass to a Suicune that did not have CM itself, instead opting to go for Mirror Coat as a move. And I said, there's just no way that this is better than like regular CM Suicune, right? And, well, I mean, maybe I'm going to have to show him this replay.
Now it all makes sense, though. Because it was like, okay, you wake up with your Suicune, like, start Calm Minding to catch up to this Suicune, but they just started surfing. And, like, it made no sense. Like, I think if Seldenami had enough time, like, could they have come to the conclusion the only way this makes sense is if it's exactly Mirror Code?
I mean, that is possible, but like, there's just no way to play around it if you're Seldenami. You would have to use up all of your Calm Minds, but then Suicune's just gonna win. This Suicune's just gonna win anyway. So
yeah, but Moody, it also just like getting the exact turn when they finally click that Hydro Pump right. What a match! Really interesting team. Incredibly well played towards the end. That was a fucking journey, Moody. And yet another excellent submission by Moody. Holy fuck. Corvin is saying replay of the year. We might have a tough one. That one...
It's between that and the rollout Salamence, obviously, right?
Yeah,
but I feel like...
Absolutely.
See, my philosophy is sometimes the replays that required the least amount of luck to happen are like the extra special ones. And like this one, to me, I feel like there was no like hacks. It was just Moody had a particular tech and a particular game plan, and it worked. Yeah,
it super did. And I love like, because like you don't often even see Ice Beam on Milo, right? It's often Surf, Recover, Refresh, Toxic for like defensive Milo. So like you have like an unconventional-ish Milo set with Mirror Coat, and then that kind of puts the opponent on their back foot, and they're thinking, okay, this team is kind of weird. There's a goddamn lead Quillfish, and they're kind of looking out. But this is it felt like a middle of the road nonchalant Suicune. Who would expect double Mirror Coat? Nobody would. You see triple water, would. And like you already just sort of like I don't know what's happening. I don't know. It came together brilliantly. That was a beautiful replay, Booty.
Yeah. Although I guess I should say my knock on this replay is Seldenami literally like threw the game away.
Yeah, because they could have just killed the Suicune.
All they had to do was attack the Suicune. And when it was at 11%.
And like they got a Calm Mind up here, right? They got their first Calm Mind, and there was a full para. And it's like, okay, the damn Gengar has not spent any turns of sleep. Take the damn kill, and then hit 2 Surfs. I mean, maybe Seldenami was like, what if they wake up and explode? It is also
but you're guaranteed one more turn of sleep. So, I mean, the thing is, if you have Hydro Pump Suicune, you forfeited any right to say, I'm gonna try to play safe.
True.
And like against this Suicune, I think you have to identify if this is Rest Suicune, which is like probably the most common set, and you literally
it's been revealed.
Rest revealed.
It's revealed Rest at this point.
Like, this is like, honestly, maybe Seldenami's a paid actor. Maybe Moody just hit up the Venmo real quick.
That could be the. I mean, Occam's razor is a concept in philosophy that basically says the simplest explanation is often the most likely. And I don't know. I want to see some Venmo logs from you guys, but I did get the DM Flanky, but I said a moment ago that we're going to do 2 more replays. We've seen 2 Flanky games and 0 r/Butterfree games. And for the last replay of the night, I want to check out r/Butterfree versus Xeon Crystal. Using the
I almost
same
got
AVI.
jump scared. I thought that was me.
Yeah. Have you played against r/Butterfree much, Tetra?
I don't believe I've ever played Butterfree. Definitely not on ladder. Not to slam Butterfree, but we're
There's a
we're
disparity.
not in the same range.
There's a disparity. It's not, you're not going to be running into them very often. We understand.
Yeah, I was thinking about throwing games so I could try to play against Fear Ninetales because that's on my bucket list.
You gotta just have an alt account for stuff like that. I think you gotta have like accounts at different points in the ladder so you can pinpoint and stream snipe people. Last replay of the week, r/Butterfree. Butterfree only submitted one replay for the past 2 weeks, and they included a note. I want to read that. This was them. And this is a bit of a spoiler, but most people submit replays where they win. So how big of a spoiler is it really? They defeated a usual ladder regular who still gives them a bit of a hard time. There's a bit of a demon for r/Butterfree. It's one of the few mid-ladder wins that they feel they earned from just raw skill for once. Dagan, I know you're here. Please don't tell r/Butterfree that 1400 is not mid-ladder. Just let them have this one, and let's dive in. Lead Smeargle versus lead Raikou. Whoa. And we're going to sub... Perish Song.
I love lead Raikou.
I haven't seen it much, but I kind of like it. I kind of dig it.
ABR is really big into it. Although I don't think you see a lot of Porygon here. But interesting that the Porygon is in trap. Like it doesn't trap the Dugtrio.
Yeah.
But still threatens with Ice Beam.
And we're back to square one, folks. Oh, trying to catch the Doug coming in with HP Grass or Ice, and now we've been spored.
Ooh.
So good 50-50 for Xeon Crystal. Their fortress is frozen, and it's Spiderweb Smeargle.
Spiderweb.
You don't see that. And we're going to try
that makes sense.
Do you have Protect? Do you have Rest? How are you going to swing this, Xeon Crystal?
You better have Rest.
We go to Fori. Okay, well, the Claydol can simply live now, and you're going to use this turn to try to wake up or thaw your Fori. And you've done so! Okay, we get a spike that we might not have gotten otherwise. That was well played.
Regice.
And another sub-user. Look at this.
Some interesting teams from both sides, I think.
Okay,
Butterfree's is slightly more conventional, which is insane to say.
Butterfree, I'm surprised that you didn't get another CM there. You get another CM, and then the next sub won't get broken by T-Bolt, and you can kind of try to... Maybe you're afraid of Doug coming in and trapping you, but you're at like 70%. I don't know.
The problem with that play is if Regice has Psych Up.
Oh, true. Do you... okay, be honest, and no shade to anybody. Do you think r/Butterfree is playing around Psych Up Regice? Because maybe they are. They probably thought about that set. That's the kind of gamer they are. You know, they're... Oh my god,
yeah,
a second freeze.
Fortress is putting up a Milotic level performance.
All right, Hera with the Swords Dance. Can you get through Registeel, though?
Is that Hidden Power Rock?
Yeah, I would imagine it is. Because, well, is Steel neutral? Oh, we missed Megahorn?
Steel would be neutral.
Megahorn isn't going to get through this.
I was going to say, if you're going for +4 with Heracross here, my hard read was that this doesn't have a fighting move. Because otherwise you would have just simply went for the fighting move. Maybe
they were also trying to scout counter, but nonetheless, you've gotten a kill with Doug. Of course, the P2 is
now
here.
Pori. Yeah. It's a tough situation because the Doug trio has to come in. So this is, I think, slightly a misplay from Butterfree. I think, personally, with the Porygon 2, always just recover out until the Doug trio has to struggle. And it kind of doesn't really matter there. Well, okay, never mind. I was going to say it didn't really matter there, but if you get the crit, then your Porygon is coming out of the matchup with less HP. And I think when you have 3 Mons left, you're not as incentivized to save the PP on recover.
That's fair. And Porygon, unable to get through the full paralysis. And Butterfree is here and thiefing leftovers from Regice. And that's fortunate because Ice Beam, I think, surely would have one-hit KO'd the Butterfree.
Oh, for sure. There's just no doubt in my mind.
Oh my gosh, so many full Hold on a second. Well, can we pause? Can we pause for a second? Ice Beam finally gets through. The note associated with this game, r/Butterfree said, this is one of the few mid-ladder wins I feel I earned from just raw skill for once. Meanwhile, gets 2 separate freezes on the Fortress and like 4 separate full paras on the Regice. So I'm starting to think, I don't know if that was a self-aware thing or if like in the moment they're like, yeah, I fucking got his ass.
I'm gonna, I was not gonna let that, I was gonna let him slide on that one.
All right. He got his. Oh, it's another immediate thaw. It's fucking
no
insane.
way.
This has been a game. This has been a fucking game. Claydol comes in on the T-Bolt.
Substitute on the Suicune. See, usually I'm not a fan of sub Suicune on a Raikou team because Raikou's oftentimes the substituter.
Right.
I would want Suicune to be the bulky rest variants.
Yeah, to give you like two separate types of win conditions to just like have a little bit more like versatility against different structures. Swampert in the back for Xeon Crystal. Is it enough? Surely not.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No.
I'm gonna hard read, even if the Swampert gets through this, that the Raikou has HP Grass.
In my humble opinion, you need to go Butterfree on this Earthquake and Sleep Powder it.
I mean,
for the fans.
That's
just a forfeit. That was a fun one. That was absolutely a fun one. Oh, Butterfree saying decision making is what I was accounting for. Yeah, I mean, like I like the lines that you chose. Like no shade whatsoever. And we're having some fun here.
No, I mean, I think this was a nice team, a nice game from Butterfree. That being said, Megahorn miss, freezing the Fortress twice. There were some paras on the Regice that mattered. I mean, but it's Butterfree though, so I'm.
But you won with Butterfree. That's dope as shit, bro. Let's fucking go. You beat your ladder demon. You ascended all the way to 1424. That's gaming.
You know what I appreciate about this though? Yeah. Oftentimes the quote unquote featured Chipmon, particularly something like Butterfree, is just going to be the lead and saying, you know, there are sometimes I'm just going to outspeed and I'm getting a Spore off on or the Sleep Powder off on something, and then I'm going to Thief, and then it's like, all right, great, you surprised me on lead. That's cool. But having it in the back means that you're having to play for position, and Butterfree does have some interesting defensive capabilities, so it's not completely like useless on switching.
Yeah, no, I remember when like Butterfree was used like on two separate occasions. I think it was in the first ADV revival, and like Jim was commentating one of the games and was like pleasantly surprised with like the utility of like Compound Eyes Sleep Powder basically being Spore. It's like 97.5 or something like that. And then also like the utility of Thief, like stealing an item, like effectively a knockoff. I mean, what else can really do that? Like Smeargle, but Smeargle doesn't waste time like knocking off when it can be doing other things, I guess.
I mean, I guess technically Breloom can do that.
Oh yeah, Breloom can do it, but Breloom takes spikes, and Breloom isn't like cool. I don't think Breloom's lame, but it's not like epic like Butterfree.
I think Butterfree's better at doing that specific thing than Breloom is.
Right.
If for no other reason than using a move slot for Thief on Breloom feels like really bad because it's already a Pokemon that is struggling to hit things.
Right, and I'll be honest, I didn't even know that Breloom got Thief. I don't think I've seen it run Thief before.
Like almost every Pokemon gets Thief. Not every Pokemon, but
really,
like, tons of them do.
Hold on.
Yeah, it's one of the most well distributed moves in the generation.
Folks, I learned this from my cousin. Okay, and this is what I like to call. Hold on, I gotta fix my display capture. No. Yes.
Ooh. Actually, you pulling up Showdown gives me an idea for a video here.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. All right. I've been wanting to make a video about why I don't like Hello Decks or Calc Decks, and why I think you'd actually be better off if you tried to play without it.
I would watch that video, and I would offer input for said video if you're looking for it. As a novice to like somewhat competent beginner player, I
You can call yourself intermediate. I'm willing to give you that much.
I'll take it. I will take it. I went 4-1 in my first Mushy League season 19. Real ones know. Thief. I think that it helps and hurts in different ways, and you could argue whether it's a net positive or negative. But
Breloom doesn't get it. Okay, I'm spreading misinformation.
You are. Only 5 OU Pokemon get it, and then you go to UUBL and it's like every UUBL of all time. But
of course,
I don't know. I don't. By the way, the fans cannot see this because I don't have my full screen situated, and we're gonna edit in real time. You guys are seeing how the sauce is made, and I just want to apologize for that fact.
Mm-hmm.
1 second here.
You know what? Actually, I'm looking at it. Crobat. Maybe Crobat is an angle.
I love Crobat, and I've always
Does it
wanted
get
to make it work.
hypnosis?
No, fuck no. That would be like the fastest like hypnosis of all time. Yeah, we can just.
I don't know. Does it get hypnosis in any generation? I feel like it does.
I don't know the fastest way to check, like, that kind of a thing on Showdown, honestly.
Yeah, no. I mean, you would just check the filters for hypnosis. It does not get it this generation.
It doesn't.
Somebody, tell me I'm not crazy though. It gets it in like Gen 4 or Gen 5, please.
The fastest hypnosis in Gen 3, believe it or not, Persian. Which, did you know the Persian has 115 base speed? I definitely did not. Yeah,
well, actually, playing a lot of draft, and you're looking at these low tier Pokemon, because you only have but so many points. Alolan Persian is a Pokemon that I really like to take for low points.
Oh, fair.
So, and I know.
Go ahead.
One of my friends did they had a crazy Persian set with Icy Wind, to beat somebody with they had like, I think it was like Garchomp on their team.
I thought we watched a Flanky game earlier, but we skipped it. And we did only watch one Flanky match. And Flanky was telling me, hey man, I only got one. You said I was going to get two. And I thought you were wrong. Flanky, you were right. I was wrong. Tetra, you got one more in the chamber for us?
Absolutely. I'm not doing anything after this.
All right, let's do it. Let's see.
All right, quickly in the chat, spam your favorite UUBL Pokemon that you want me to do a video about. Yeah,
everybody, what do you guys want Tetra to do next? What was I saying earlier before you joined when you were fucking asleep still? Oh, Sceptile. Because, dude, I love Sceptile. Jim has, like, a short video on Sceptile and, like, some of its advantages and shortcomings. But, like, it seems like it would be so good. It's fast. It can speed tie Doug, right? It has, like, Grass Stab. It has, like, Pursuit. It has other stuff. It can run Leaf Blade, so it still has, like, a hidden power. Like, I understand it's not, like, quite strong enough. And, like...
Yeah. I wish it had a stronger Leaf Blade. I feel like 80 would have been extremely reasonable. Because then that's enough that you're most likely going to kill Swampert. You're going to 2-hit KO unboosted Suicunes. I think that 80 would do that. Yeah. It's just like Leaf Blade being 70 is like, it's so tragic.
It is a little unfortunate.
Corvinus says that they do not want me to do a video on their favorite UUBL Pokemon. All right, well, you saved that secret tech, but I'm going to get around to it eventually, so. That's
hilarious. Dagon, I have won a high ladder match with Persian, and they just... Okay, hold on. Fuck. I can't get to this today, but I am going to get to it someday. We'll do it next week, because this is actually the last one. I gotta cut the stream.
Gotcha.
But let's... Okay, Flanky said that this is a banger, and I'm inclined to believe in Flanky. This is...
Sounds good.
It's another friendly between them and Mezzaloth. And it's more sleep lead. Okay. Scarm coming in immediately and getting seeded. Surely you have HP Fire. You do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's good. I was wondering if HP Fire would have been a better click there, but I guess your you're a little bit more flexible to switch now that you have the Leech Seed on the Skarm. Going for Leech Seed on Blissey, which I think is a good play.
Yeah, you're gonna
I don't
heal
know if
basically everything back.
I don't know if you guys have seen my Ludicolo video, but that's my like favorite play to make with Ludicolo. Get the Leech Seed on Blissey and then heal 26%.
It's so nice. Oh, we've Wisped the Skarm with... Yeah, interesting bringing Skarm in on Wheezing. I guess, like, aside from Wisp, it can't do anything, but Wisp is kind of... Oh, it's Nidoking! Let's go, dude!
Oh, Mono Poison.
Mono Poison. Absolutely. Flanky does this. I've seen Mono Rock from him. I've seen Mono Ghost. This is kind of dope.
That Claydol not have Earthquake? Earthquake certainly would have done more.
Interesting. Yeah. Not all
And then
Claydols
also-
run it.
Oh, I mean,
ABR has famously said that he thinks Earthquake is mid on Claydol.
yeah, I think Earthquake is mid until you run into a Tyranitar.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, surely Tentacruel is absolutely gone.
Actually, I think that maybe they were trying to play around the Wheezing. That could make sense.
Yeah, Wheezing pivots in on the Earthquake, so Psychic is a great mid-ground click. To be honest, yeah, getting the Claydol down to half health is huge in a world where you're running Mono Poison. What else would you expect, by the way? Of course, the Gengar's here. What would be last? Tell me it's just Nidoqueen. Tell me you've got the King and the Queen.
That would be really, really bad. I mean, good. Good for the clickbait.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like
Calm
Goldfish has
Mind
an
Bliss.
argument for like a spiker.
Yeah.
I don't think there are any like spinners.
Oh, okay, we've blown up on Blissey.
That was a little bit of a. That one's tough for both players because losing Blissey is really, really bad into Gengar,
Yeah.
but losing Wheezing is really, really bad into Dugtrio. So
True, yeah, Doug kind of goes to town. If you gotta hold on to this Gengar now. And T-Bolt is a pretty free click here, wouldn't you say? If you have it, apparently they might not. No, they did. I think that would have been a little bit better of a mid ground there, but this is actually tough now. You can't let the Gengar die. Or you could take down the Milo with you, but it does feel like Doug is going to go to town. Oh, it's Crobat. Of course it's Crobat. We were just talking about Crobat.
Oh, okay. I think that makes sense. You definitely don't want to stack on, like, as you try not to have as many ground weeks as possible.
This is almost Superman Mono Poison, which is impressive, honestly. HP Fire doesn't quite kill.
Ooh.
Meteor Mash does.
Ooh,
Well,
that's gotta
Crobat,
be a banded.
this is probably banded. Yeah. But everything is so low. I think the Crobat is gonna win, dude. Yeah, dude. Average Star Enjoyer is trying to lefties up the Claydol. This is fucking crazy. Yeah, after burn, it's dead. I don't think the Claydol can live this. Corvin is asking if Sky Attack was run on the Crobat. I'm sure that Flanky has Sky Attack on the Crobat.
There's just no way. I mean, actually, I say there's no way, but I seem to recall that there was a Choice Band Sky Attack Aerodactyl featured here at some point. So there's still no way, though.
And CB Crobat is cleaning Metagross Virgin 5. That is wild.
Well,
Flanky.
I mean, there you go.
Hats off, buddy.
You know that your opponent in a tournament is going to run V5. Maybe it's time to bust out the Crobat.
I love this shit. You don't see anybody else running mono teams but for Flanky. Flanky's the only one doing it. Last poll of the day.
I was thinking, like, if you're going to run a mono team, I feel like mono water has to be the way, right?
Yeah, I would think like water. I was thinking about this earlier, weeks ago, and I thought like maybe rock, maybe steel, maybe even normal could do something.
Maybe. The problem with normal is you're just so bad into Metagross.
Would that be a good YouTube video to do a tier list of different mono teams?
I think it would make for a good streaming content. Very easy one to make.
Maybe we can run something like that sometime.
Although you might have to get Benji involved because I don't know if I know enough ball to say. All right, here's who I would
Definitely.
run on my monographs team.
Right. Right. Benji would be so good at that. All right, maybe we'll get something like that together. But the stream just went for 3 hours and 20 minutes. I wasn't exactly planning on streaming for that long, and I'm pretty sure my partner is slightly upset that I've been locking her out of our game room for this long. But
oh man,
I say that mostly facetiously. But thank you guys so much. I have recorded many things. Looks like this last replay is getting voted both fire and insane. Flanky.
I believe their Discord handle is Garpachi in the chat. I've already made a Venusaur video, so you're in luck if you wanted to see that.
Just getting caught up with chat here. Yeah, guys, if you haven't already subbed to Tetrafolium, I feel like most of you probably have, because his stock has been on the rise.
Our subscriber base is basically the Venn diagram's a circle.
It is probably a little bit of a circle. Shiny Ledian just got here, and they will be watching this not live. Well, tune in. Yeah, you've got a lot of gaming. There are some pretty funny things that happened. Honestly, I think it'll be a good watch for you. Dagan, I think it is highly likely that the John Old one ends up in the top 3, and it's probably not going to be 3. I'll leave it at that for now. And I think that is just about going to do it. Tetra, thanks for doing this, man. Really appreciate you waking up so early and taking time out of your busy day to join us. We'll do it again sometime, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I could have powered through, but that getting in so late, I had to take a nap.
Yeah, dude. Sometimes the power nap is required, but I think that's gonna do it, guys. We appreciate all of you guys hanging out with us, and we will see you next time.
I don't really have anything to say, so see ya.
Sounds good, bro.